Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That means it's time for the Chaos 120, brought to you live from the Chaos 120 studios, which are non-existent, but just roll with it. It sounds good. I am your MC for this evening. My name is Scooby331. I'm here with our regular panel. We're going to be starting off with Greater Ajax.
Hello, everyone.
What's
my man Pox Toxic.
Fighting Phoenixes for life.
The one and only Sweeper Steve.
Hiya.
The lovely lady Sylvanas. Of course, we have the next 6 minutes.
The Fighting Phoenixes, they're coming for you.
And we, of course, have the Echo King Burnside with us. He is currently getting ready to serve and protect the wonderful people of Chicago. So he'll be hopping in shortly. But in the meantime, we are Chaos 120, and we are a go. So, does anyone have anything that they want to start off with?
I've been playing Oblivion all day. I did figure out that Bethesda didn't put any blocks on foul language in the old Elder Scrolls games, so my class is now CIA nigger.
Nice.
They glow in the dark, you know.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I even tried to play. I know. I have a bunch of spells that make me glow. It's fucking great.
I definitely got to get back into gaming. I don't know any of this stuff. I feel like a hermit up in the mountains.
I still play stuff on my PSP.
Yeah, I was looking for mine the other day. I don't know where the hell it is.
I was trying to dig mine out too because I got the urge to play Final Fantasy VII for some reason. I haven't played that in a while.
You know, it's sad. I remember when this thing first came out and it was cutting edge and all this thing, and I'm looking at it the other day in the store. I'm like, wow, look at this fossil. Remember the Nokia N-Gage?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was an albatross that they took a bath on. Stock in Nokia.
So I'm looking at my PSP right now, and I'm looking at the left and right trigger things, and it looks like somebody printed out on a piece of paper and then put the letters under the plastic.
That's probably what happened.
It looks so ordinary. I mean, you'd expect something as edgy as Sony PSP would have some really cool looking letters under there, but no, they just look like somebody had a label maker.
The only thing I actually liked about that was because, you know, in the area, I think Sweeper probably knows too, you can go right up into Chinatown and get all the Japanese games for $10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was cool about that when they first came out with it.
So I've been playing The Warriors a lot.
Nice.
Just
The game or the movie?
the game.
Ah.
That's based on the movie.
You ever play the game while watching the movie?
Yes, I have actually.
All right, then.
Come on, people.
Movieception.
Exercise your
I like
right
that
to
movie.
vote.
What am I voting for?
The poll that's still on, it's still going on Twitter.
I already voted.
I already voted myself.
I'm still banned on Twitter.
What did you do to get banned on Twitter?
Oh, hell, I don't know. I think I had my account for maybe a whopping week. I pissed off. What do you think I did? The first thing I did, like the same thing I did when I first got email, I went immediately, started looking for politicians. And I started complaining.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got thrown out of when I was in school, in high school. I got thrown out of my computer class because I think it was like my senior year. They had 5, and the White House has started up their own email server. So So the first thing I did was I started sending emails to the White House. And I got called into the principal's office, and they're like, no, you can't use the computer lab no more. I go, all right.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I
Well,
posted a link in the side chat for you guys.
Oh, cool.
Well, there's nothing wrong with speaking truth to power. It's just that sometimes you get kicked off of Twitter for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I sent them that video file. I think I showed you guys the naughty squirrel, the animated GIF with the.
Don't die
squirrel
while you're
dancing.
talking.
What happened?
Somebody was
Someone
dying.
was coughing. I said, don't die.
Fucking pipe.
Oh. I actually just ordered a new pipe. It should be coming in the mail any day.
No, I
I
need
gave
one.
away
This
my
one's all
last
shitty.
Yeah. Mine's cool. It's the same exact one Bilbo Baggins uses in the Hobbit.
Cool.
Yeah, nice foot-long church warden.
Go downstairs and get me some water. They said I should go downstairs and get some water.
So anything interesting going on in the news today, folks?
I have no idea. I slept most of the day and then made my little class on Oblivion. That's all I've done.
Well,
Pretty good right now.
Chaos 120
Do
news.
you actually have anything decently on Chaos News today? And I want something funny. I've had a shitty ass week.
Oh, there's a lot of funny stuff, actually.
Who's this?
Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, what's up, Mickey?
Hey, guys,
Hello.
how's it going?
Hey, Mickey.
How's it going, brother?
Same poop, different paw, you know.
Nice.
Guys, give me 1 second. I just got to check on my dog. I'll be right with you. He's barking again. He's barking again. I don't know what the hell he's barking at, but he's barking.
I'll be right back, guys.
Friday, so.
All right.
When she gets back, I shall read our story.
Cool.
2 seconds.
Oh, I'm just in time for story time.
Yep.
I don't think you
Done
can.
it.
I don't think you can top the electric toothbrush history lesson, man.
Oh, that
hell
was
no.
That would be an assault electric toothbrush. Thank you.
Yeah, that shit was fierce, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
that was some amazing. That was an amazing thing. So if,
I wonder how many people like when they put that up. I wonder how many people read it and then like they read about this assault and then they got to the part with the history lesson and they were like, "Oh, that's really interesting," and like really got into electric toothbrushes after that.
and Clint from G.I. Joe kicks down their door and says, "Knowing is half the battle."
Nice.
So there's a different G.I. Joe every week, right? If I'm remembering that right.
Yeah, they had a ton of PSAs they do at the end of the episodes. Crickets.
Crickets. It's been a kind of a sort of a weirdly paced Friday.
Why's that?
I don't know. Just the
Apologies
hours don't
there,
feel like
everybody.
hours didn't feel like they went by right.
Yeah, I know down here we're finally getting a fucking cold snap, dude. So everything's gray.
Fun.
We've been kind of overcast. We haven't really had much of a cold snap. It's fairly typical that when weather gets colder up north, there's like a force field like running through the middle of the state.
Oh yeah, Texas, lucky bastard.
We're currently at 74 degrees.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, no, dude, really.
We're going to get some kind of cool front that's going to happen somewhere, I would imagine, late Saturday or early Sunday, because it goes from 80 to 66, which is not a huge drop. It's kind of pathetic. That's what we always have to look for.
Is that a cold front in Texas? 60 degrees?
We don't really have. We don't have cold fronts. We have cool fronts.
Oh, man.
Which is unimpressive, to say the least. That's why we get a lot of people from up north coming down here for fall and winter months, and see a lot of weird license plates.
Oh, yeah. It's funny, man. I was in California one year in the winter, or maybe it was like close to the end of the fall, dude. It's like 50 degrees and people are walking around bundled up.
Really?
Oh, yeah, putting coats on and shit. And I've got like I'm walking around in shorts and a t-shirt. Like, what's wrong with you people? This is fucking glorious right now.
I don't wear anything heavier than a hoodie unless it gets to maybe like 38.
Be right back. Need coffee.
So I have a lot of nice hoodies. I just don't get the opportunity to wear as many of them. And I have a couple of nice jackets that I like wearing that are really comfortable and warm and stuff. But for some fucking reason, there's I can only imagine that there's prayer circles going on 24/7 to keep it shit ass warm the entire friggin' year. It's irritating.
I bet.
What, down by you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love that. We're famous for our disgusting winters. It's we get all 4 seasons here, and it's always the most extreme. I had a buddy of mine. He was a mechanic. He was from where the hell was he from? He was from somewhere over in Ireland, and he said to me, he goes like this. He's like, "You people in New York can handle this shit." He's like, "Your winters are like Scandinavia." And I told him, I said, "I don't know, I'm just used to it." He said, "I've been here for about," I think he was in the States now for about 5 years. He said, and like Minnesota, he said, "Your winters are so horrible." He said, "But," I said, "Well, it's because we're on the North Atlantic, so we get hit with the front from Canada, plus we get hit with the shit that's coming across the pond, so we get that double whammy."
Mm-hmm.
Because he was telling me, he said the last time he had dealt with cold like that, he said, was when he was in the Navy. I don't know if he was in the Navy for Ireland or England. I don't know how it works over there. Mickey, how's it work over there? Ireland got their own Navy?
Hey, more or less. It's basically the same thing. They just have we different names for it. That's all.
Okay.
Ireland Navy. Is it a rowboat and a guy with a musket?
Not many people want to come to where I'm at. It's fucking. I mean, in the Bible, you got that shit about 40 days and 40 nights of rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a name for that. It's called fucking summer.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, pretty much it's an island. You gotta have a navy. It's not like we're gonna fucking march across the stream, easy.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, you still got your captains and so forth. We're not nearly as I'll be honest, we're not nearly as prone for picking fights as Well, I'm an American now, but I still tend to think sometimes like you Yanks. No offense by that, just
No, none taken. It's we're known for it. It's fighting spirit and pig-headedness. That's what Americans are known for.
I mean, that's what people ask me every so often. They're like, "Well, why are you guys? Why is it always depicted as fighting? The fighting Irish like next day?" I said, "For fuck's sake, man, Ireland." Ireland. We ain't find anybody better. We got to fight ourselves.
I miss you, Mickey. How's it been, dude?
You know, life goes on, mate. You know, just
That's good.
one calamity after another.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Ugh. These fucking night shifts, man.
Yes.
Ugh. I'm getting ready for everything tomorrow, man. Ooh boy. I hope my stupid ass cell phone decides it wants to stream and not cut my fucking data like a dick.
Yeah, you had problems
You
with
got
that
going
last time, didn't you?
They got the.
Oh yeah, I
what
got
is it,
problems
the
with this
little
thing
kids
left
that are
and
gonna be
fucking
dancing
right.
around in their pajamas again in Chicago.
Yeah, and those fucking sodomites are us, you know.
Oh,
You know, the
fucking
queers, the
real.
steers, the socialists, the communists, the inepticists, the chronic or masturbatists, and those weird fuckers that have the sodomizing puppets that look like they got ripped off from Guar. You know,
Want me to
I
teach you
really
a little
think.
trick?
Where the fuck are you going? What is going on tomorrow?
Sounds like a frat party, don't it?
It's all sorts of fucking crazy, man. I mean, I swear to God, if the weather wasn't so horrible here, they'd be all protesting in their thongs with their strap-ons all over the place and shit.
Thank you for that picture. That'll never get out of my head.
Oh, you've never heard about the USSR LGBTQABCIDEDFFR?
Don't forget the BYOB.
There's a couple mathematical symbols you forgot there too, buddy.
Yeah, starting with a plus at times and it's a princess thingy.
Oh, they replace that with a hammer and sickle. They don't need all the additional crap. They got a red fist. They got a pink hammer and a purple sickle.
You forgot
So-
the crudely
some
drawn
rotary colors
picture of a
behind it.
whale.
So do they have to add BP to their acronym since they put brown on the flag for black people? Because being black people is a sexual orientation now?
Nah, that's what the red fist is for. It all encompasses because they got because they got Revcom and then they're blacker than black. They're blacker than my boots when I first bought them, and they use the red fist and the orange sun on all their stuff. So it encompasses it.
You're saying they're crispy as hell, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
crispier than KFC, my friend.
Damn.
Because I mean,
It's
seriously,
funny.
something had to have baked their brains.
It's funny, Pox, what you were just talking about with that, with the man in that black stripe to the flag.
Yeah.
My neighborhood is a lot of black folks, and when they heard that they added that to that flag, for lack of a better term, they went fucking ape shit. Like they got pissed off, like you wouldn't believe. Like when they told them that was representing black people. You should have. Oh my God, the woman who runs the laundromat by me, Penny. She's tough as hell. She got into a fight with a broad that like pulled out a straight razor, like right in the middle of the laundromat. She didn't want to pay for her shit, and she laid her right out, like cold. So I'm in there and I hear them because it's it's a black-run laundromat. So that there's all these black people and they're doing their thing, and so I walk in and I tell them, I'm like, hey, did you hear? And they're like, what? I told them this about a month or two ago. Holy shit, they all look at me like, you're fucking with me. I'm like, no, I'm being dead serious. They're like, nah, you're fucking with me. They didn't do that shit. I'm like, no, let me see your phone. So he whips out the phone. It's my boy. It's funny. His name's Blue. I say that to him every once in a while. I'm like, yo, you're my boy, Blue. And he'll give me this look like, yo, Scooby, I'm not getting the fuck out. I'm like, yo, let me see your phone, man. He's like, all right. So I flip it over and I show it to him. He looks, he's like, oh, nah, fuck no. Nah, they ain't doing this shit. Nah, hell no, nah.
No, man, shit.
Yeah, he's looking at it.
Shit.
He's like,
We was
he's like,
kings, man. We was not faggots.
looking at this, he's like, no, this is the Onion, right? I'm like, no, look. And I showed it to him. He's like, and it was CNN. And he's looking at me. Holy shit! Oh, he went fucking buck. He goes out and he gets everyone out in front of the laundromat. They all come in. They're all looking at the phone. Like, oh hell no! Everyone starts freaking the fuck out. She comes out. What's going on? What's going on? I showed her. She's like, She stares at me, and I don't even want to repeat what she said because it's not polite, but holy shit. She goes, oh, she's telling them, she's like, now they're going to have all the black men's, there's going to be walking around, there's going to be shaking ass like they women. Watch. You can see, watch. Oh, it's classic. I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
If you can't, like, they can't go around up over into like North Amityville with them flags now because they take it personal. I've already seen like a couple
They
fights
should
break
take it
out. I'm telling
personal.
you. No, it's going to turn into like they're going to try to start charging people with hate crimes. I'm nervous because this is causing attention by me, man.
Old girl would have a heart attack if she was in some parts of Cincinnati, dude. I worked for a lawn care company, and we had to do these little postage stamp yards in the hood over in Cincinnati, man. And the guy I was training with, we would play spot the tranny coming back, dude. There's so many fucking tranny hookers that just hang out on some places. It's fucking insane.
Oh my
And there's
God,
this weird
that's funny.
split with the black gay thing, like the I guess like the mainstream thug culture kind of black hood thing, like they're cool with it. That's where you see a lot of like really flamboyant gay black dudes and shit. But then like you have like the underground culture, like the actual thugs that are pushing drugs and all that shit. And a lot of them, they're either straight up homophobic, don't want nothing to do with the gays, or they're undercover homo. It's
I'll
fucking
tell you
bizarre,
from my
dude.
experience.
They're the secret sodomites.
From my experience, for my boys I chill with, yeah, they're not having that.
Yeah,
It's not, that's like when I'm watching the Democrats and they're pushing this shit, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're gonna lose the black community, and I don't mean like they're not gonna lose like the working family class, like what everyone's talking about, like the black Republicans. They lost probably a good amount of the black Democrats didn't vote for them because you got to understand that's a cultural thing with them hardcore. They really don't particularly care for gay people. It's the cultural, yeah.
Nah, they fucking
like,
hate 'em,
I'm talking
dude.
like in the hood, like the hood.
Oh yeah, no. You will get fucked up.
Yeah, it's not gonna fly. Like over by me, like when I worked up in Wine Dance. They come over to me like once because one of the guys that they worked with, he was into white women. He was in the army. He was in Germany for years, and he told me he liked those Fraulines. He liked blonde hair, blue eyed, pale skinned, Barbie looking girls. So, but they all said no, that's bullshit. He just says that so when no one sees him with black women, they don't, it's because he's gay. So like they used to come over to me and they're like, yeah. And they'd be like, yo, Scooby man.
I said
you can't be they like you can't be talking to Bruce.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Scooby.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to interrupt. So what you're saying now is there's a subculture of black homos. Yeah. So what you're saying, what would you call that? Would you call that like crypto cocksuckers or what?
Oh my God, that's awesome, Mickey. Holy shit, that's funny.
Oh shit.
And I'm not even saying this because of the rainbows. I call them unicorns because there is not as many black gay people as they let on.
They all moved to
The
Cincinnati,
concentration of them. Concentration of them is maybe by me here in New York and up over in LA. Like big concentrations. That's even. I'm saying maybe there's a lot of closeted ones, but that's the thing you have to realize. I tell everybody, watch Tyler Perry movies. You actually you learn a lot about their culture. Those folks are really into the church. I say this, coming from an ethnic family. Who's really into religion, and I know how religious folks can be, and it can be a little unruly. And a lot of people don't realize that because I hate saying this because of how black folks are portrayed in the media. They don't realize, there's a lot of religion that goes on over there, and a lot of people tell me like, oh well, they're very violent, those folks, and I go, well, yeah, so it's Sicilian Catholics. They're really religious too. So all races that are into like getting down and dirty, they're very religious. If you notice, they go hand in hand. You know, one hand's serving God, one's dipped in blood. But you know what I'm saying? That's history. But we can go on that tangent all night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
I'm
few
talking
thoughts
myself dizzy.
while you were having your dialogue there.
Mhm.
So I don't know if some of them are even appropriate for even the group. I just meeting most of you guys. I don't know if Burnside warned you. I tend to speak whatever the hell crosses my mind.
This is CHAOS120.
That's kind of the place for it.
Mickey, if I may say really quick.
You've come to the right place, man.
All right.
Yeah, if I may say really quick, sir. My mother is an O'Sullivan of the Cork O'Sullivans, so I've already had my baptism of fire. I was raised this way. I'm used to the scathing Irish terms, so by all means.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, you guys were talking about, you got your fucking white flamers and now you got your black, rope suckers, and I'm just thinking, well, you got fucking white queers and we call them flamers. What the fuck would you call a black queer? An ember, a coal, what?
This is fucking awesome.
I'm gonna go with Ember for a Mexican and Cole for a black guy.
That works.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
See, we just invented whole new fucking terms tonight. Look at that. Innovators, that's what it is.
Yeah, let's make that a thing. Let's see if we can increase the number of definitions put up on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Actually, there is a word for it in Spanish. So,
well,
the correct terminology is maricón.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been
many times when I was a kid.
I've been telling Burnside and the group, some of the other groups on our little program we just started here a month or so ago, that every time I heard that fucking phrase "dindu," I fucking near pissed myself.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, because the Welsh translation for black man is spelled D-Y-N-D-U, dindu.
One of life's happy coincidences.
Yes, it fucking cracked me the hell up. I'm like, well, at least it's fucking accurate.
Synchronicity is a wonderful thing.
So,
a little synchronicity there. I'm sorry?
Chaos News.
Chaos News? Alrighty.
Oh, yeah.
I will get you
Hey,
set.
what's up,
I'm
man?
very late playing.
Play, what's happening?
Hey,
You have just arrived to hear the story about a couple that were having sex on a center balcony
Awesome.
nice.
as the stunned crowd looks on.
A stoned crowd. The entire the entire crowd, or just part of the crowd?
Yes, a stunned form of stoned.
Oh, that kind of. I misheard you.
A randy couple were caught on camera having sex on a balcony overlooking a historic city center and were cheered when they moved indoors. The naked pair didn't seem to care about the stunned crowd gathered below as they put on an X-rated display in broad daylight. In video shot by a neighbor living opposite, one of the onlookers says, "They don't give a damn." The exhibitionists got a round of applause after halting their romp and carrying on in view of out of view inside the apartment. There's a lovely little photo of him. The unidentified woman involved appeared a little reluctant at first, but allowed her male partner to carry on with the public sex act in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It was reported that the X-rated scene was caught on camera in the capital's Montserrat neighborhood, the oldest in the city, which is home to key sites including the President's Mansion. It's the second time in as many months video showing a couple romping in public in Buenos Aires has gone viral. In October, a couple were filmed on CCTV satisfying their needs in a doorway. One local report claimed afterwards, our readers will draw their own conclusions, but it's worth adding that this video is just one small example of what happens every weekend in Buenos Aires and other parts of the country. Police have made a number of arrests in recent months for public indecency. Last year, a woman was filmed performing a sex act on her boyfriend in broad daylight outside a nightclub in Zerat, before turning on police who tried to stop her ahead of their arrest. Instead of covering up when a police car arrived on the scene, she began to argue with one of the armed officers who walked up to them while her lover stretched out his arms as if to say, "Don't stop us now." Local
So
reports,
daylight outside of a nightclub.
Yep. Local
Okay, just
reports.
making sure.
Yep. The local reports said the unnamed woman who was arrested along with her boyfriend brazenly told the female cop who asked her to stop, "I'm not going to stop because I don't want to." Well, that's very straightforward. "It's my boyfriend and I do it where I want. If you want, I'll do it in front of you." Also very straightforward. "You're not going to take me away for this. You can't detain me for this."
But they can. It's called indecent exposure. Just saying.
They ended up being arrested for a public decency offense and hauled away to the nearest police station to be fingerprinted and told they face charges.
They
Well.
face charges. Okay.
Well, if I may, I've practiced a safe form of such a thing most of my adult life. See, I put on a live album so that every 3 to 5 minutes I get applause. That way I get all the thrill without any of the danger.
Nice.
So would anyone like to hear what a U.S. Navy pilot did?
Oh, I do.
Oh yes.
This one's
If you're talking about who I think you're talking about, he's actually a senator.
let's see, a U.S. Navy pilot. If I can get past all these idiotic ads. There we go. Thank you, CBS News. U.S. Navy pilot draws obscene pictures over Washington State. A U.S. Navy pilot drew obscene pictures in the sky over Washington State on Thursday. Viewers contacted the station after watching a plane draw what appeared to be a crude depictions of a penis in the sky in Okanogan County, which borders Canada. The station, he must have been a Fighting Penises fan.
He was a member of an elite
Sister
squad,
Life.
the Fighting Felix.
There we go. The station posted pictures of the drawings on its website. Warning, some viewers may find the pictures offensive. A mother in Okanogan, Washington told the station she was upset because she might have to explain the drawings to her kids. The Navy told the station that the aircraft involved was based at Naval Air Station Whidbey Island off of the Washington coast. The air station's website describes it as the premier naval aviation installation in the Pacific Northwest. I guess also the premier artistic installation in the Pacific Northwest. Anyhow, in a statement to the station, the Navy said the incident was unacceptable. The Navy holds its air crew to the highest standards, and we find this absolutely unacceptable, of zero training value, and we are holding the crew accountable, the Navy said. A FAA official told the station there was nothing the agency could do about the incident because it, quote, cannot police morality. But that'd be nice if the rest of the country understood that.
Finally, a government entity that knows it's not the morality police.
Yay!
Unless, of course, they can make money from it.
Yeah.
Let's find another funny one. Oh, we have an update.
You know, I suspect the Navy was mostly offended because the penis wasn't big enough.
I guess so.
A big black cock.
Nice.
We have an update.
What's an update?
Ooh, all right.
We have an update to the McDonald's woman when it climbed through the window.
Oh shit! What happened?
We have an update. It appears as though
Not shot.
she has turned herself in.
All right.
Let's see. Columbia,
Did you turn
Maryland.
yourself into Big Mac? Or Bear McCheese, maybe?
Lane, I love you.
A suspect has surrendered in a McDonald's break-in which a woman squeezed her way through a drive-through window. Police said in a statement that 27-year-old Jessica Marie Cross of Springdale, Maryland, turned herself into officials Thursday in Maryland's Howard County. She is charged with burglary and theft. Widely seen surveillance video of the November 5th burglary shows a woman worming into a McDonald's. That's one way of putting it. More like she kind of like poured herself through the window. Is a better way of describing it. Into a McDonald's in Columbia, Maryland through the unlocked window. It also shows her helping herself to a soft drink and making off with a box of items. Police say Cross stole $1,400 in cash, a purse, food, Happy Meal toys. Investigators said Cross is seen on video attempting to remove her fingerprints and disable the surveillance system. Because, hey, why not? Online court records don't list a lawyer for Cross. She probably should have thought of the surveillance system before she poured herself through the window.
Oh my God.
There are better restaurants to do that with better food.
Agreed.
But did you guys hear about this nutter in Colorado?
What about Colorado?
This nutter, it was November 12th, I think it was, about 5 days ago.
What happened?
This stupid Pratt fucking goes to court. The hell was his name? Oh, here it is. I got it on a list of shit.
Jared, the stupid Subway dude?
No, this chap's name is Juan Jose Vidrio or something like that. It looks like, I'm not even trying to pronounce that last name. Looks like a brisket. But this idiot goes to court because of drug possession, and when he takes his feckin' hat off, the cocaine fell out of his feckin' hat.
Honestly, that doesn't surprise me out here. Coloradans kind of are stupid. I'm not even kidding you. One of my friends that is up ended up having pull over a guy and told him to step out. The dude is straight up said, "I don't have any drugs on." Took 2 steps out and had a whole kilo brick fall out of his pants.
Well, if this guy had the cocaine fall out of his hat, then it's on his head.
That's why they say keep things under your hat.
I could just picture the whole Abbott and Costello. Take off your hat, raise your right hand, put your left hand here. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but if you look it up on YouTube, it's fucking hysterical.
Oh yeah, they were great.
So, speaking of articles of clothing, a Florida man throws girlfriend's shoe out of his truck to stop her from strangling him.
Did it work?
We will find out. Conewago Township, York County. A Florida man had to throw his girlfriend's shoe out of his truck window to get her to stop attacking him, according to a police arrest report.
He's 6.
Yep.
Can you thank the people that gives us the articles, please?
Yes, I can. Let's see. This one comes from Colleen Bernier. The McDonald's update also came from Colleen Bernier, as well as the sex couple and the obscene Navy pilot.
Seriously?
I have to say, I am impressed by anyone who wants to break into a McDonald's and still can actually manage to be agile enough to get into the McDonald's drive-through window.
Yeah.
Agile's not quite the word I would use to describe that. I would say she took advantage of the conditions of gravity that she was afforded at the particular moment.
Well, I hope that they do take into account the gravity of her offense.
Oh, I know her shoes do. Let's see. All right. J.C. Stringfellow, 43, of Sarasota, Florida, was charged with strangulation and harassment, the arrest affidavit says. The incident happened Tuesday at 11:30 p.m. at a distribution warehouse on the 4800 block of Susquehanna Trail North, according to North York County Regional Police. Police were called to the location for the report of a woman who was standing on a loading dock screaming about being assaulted by her boyfriend, police say. The initial report said the woman was wearing one shoe. An officer made contact with the woman, later identified as Stringfellow. She told police that she and her boyfriend, Nathaniel Huger, had driven up from Florida that morning. She said that she was searching through his email when she found evidence he was cheating on her. When she confronted him, they began arguing in the warehouse parking lot. Stringfellow said Huger bit her right wrist during the argument and that she somehow sustained a scratch on the side of her head during the altercation as well. Stringfellow said that she had been to the hospital earlier that day to get her psych medications. Well.
So, did he take the shoe off her foot, or was it shoe on head?
I don't know. But if you try to return it, won't be a glass slipper, I don't imagine. Let's see.
No, that would probably be more of a plastic wannabe shoe.
Yeah, it would be boxy.
Yeah. Hospital earlier that day to get her psych medications. Not a surprise that Huger left with him in his possession. She said she wanted the medication back. Police say. Well, I'm not going to argue there.
That does seem fair.
Give her as much medication as she's willing to take. Let's see.
Exactly.
While police were speaking to Stringfellow, Huger returned to the scene and remained in his truck. The arrest affidavit states when police talked to him, he had a different version of events. Of course he does, because he's probably the sane one in this equation. According to Huger,
unicorns.
Well, how closely does his version adhere to objective reality? That's what I want to know.
Well, we'll find that one out. According to Huger, Stringfellow became irate when she confronted him about his infidelity. During the confrontation, Huger said Stringfellow got out of the passenger seat, went behind his seat, wrapped her arm around his neck, and began choking him. Huger said he was unable to breathe, so he moved his mouth up and down on her wrist using his teeth in an attempt to break her hold. Once he freed himself, Huger said he threw one of her shoes outside the truck in an attempt to get her to exit the vehicle. Huger told police his ploy worked. Stringfellow left the truck to retrieve her shoe.
Ploy works. You throw a bitch's shoes out, she's going to go chasing after the shoe. It probably cost more than she makes a year.
Fetch.
I feel like we're missing part of the story here. It hasn't described exactly how he got the shoe off her to throw it.
That is a good
I imagine it currently wasn't on her foot at the time, or it fell off her foot as she was making her, I don't know. That's just speculation on my part. Let's see. Stringfellow left the truck to retrieve her shoe, and Huger drove off out of fear for his safety. Well, no kidding. Police said that there were no witnesses in the area that could provide information on what happened.
Well, as far as that goes, common sense would tell you if she was strangling him, even with her hands, there'd be ligature marks around his throat. Subdermal bruising.
Yeah, but this would be the push that Uber needs, because right now Uber drivers can't have any sort of weapon to defend themselves. This might give the push for the Uber to let their drivers have some form of self-defense.
Yeah, there have been a lot of Uber drivers attacked. Maybe
I want them to have like rocket launchers behind the headlights and oil slicks out the back. And oh, you mean from passengers?
Yeah, they're not talking about rocket tires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't want muzzies going off and firing rockets at schools and shit.
That's true. We may not want to arm the Uber drivers if they're anything like most of the ones I've gotten lately.
But I do think maybe some kind of mace or something that they could actually defend themselves.
Why stop at mace? Give them a full flail.
Yeah, but to my mind, for self-protection is a natural right. There is no fucking law that trumps it. It's all.
I agree.
Oh, I agree, but it's Uber's policy. If they even remotely see you have any form of knives, mace, or anything like that, you lose your right to be an Uber driver.
That's okay. Doesn't mean you can't say, hey, $20, I'll take you where you want to go. That's tax free.
Are you cleaning your rifle plane?
No, I was just loading a magazine, actually.
So I thought that sounded familiar.
It's an AR-1530 round.
Oh, you sprang for the 30s. Oh boy.
Well, of course I did. They're only $10.
I feel inadequate. I only have 20s.
Yeah,
Well, I
they're
don't
only
know
like
if
$10 right now.
Get the troll.
When told she
Yeah.
had been accused of strangling Hooger, Stringfellow allegedly said to police that she was trying to hug Hooger to calm him down. The affidavit says.
Yeah,
She
calm
said
him down
Hooger.
into unconsciousness.
She said that Hooger bit her wrist while she was hugging him because if anybody hugs you, that's exactly what you do.
That's right.
Give me a hug, I'll bite your wrist. That's just how it works.
That's how a real bear hug works.
That's the natural reaction to any hug or any form of affection. Is
I tell
biting.
you, playing. I hear you playing with your gun. Made my hand itchy. I just want to Burnside knows what I'm like. I'm sitting here and I even walk around darn my own house. That's my Ruger.
Seems fair to me.
There you go.
Yeah, I like. Well, I am too. What's her name here? Sylvanas, I think is the name. Is that correct pronunciation? Okay. As far as it goes, when they go, well, our policy, and I sign off on that shit. I don't read it. I do legalistic shit. I just treat it as, okay, I agree that's your policy, but my personal policy is I'm going to fucking protect myself, and I don't give a thing. Damn, you don't want to carry a gun, don't carry a gun. But my personal policy is I protect me.
That seems fair to me.
You can put any kind of agreement you want up there. I agree that's your policy, but it's not mine.
That was my Walther.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
Keep it up. I'm going to put
here's
on my shirt with my nipples, boys.
Seriously, where's Irving?
Canada.
E.
He's probably getting some 1-year anniversary poontang, I imagine.
There you go. That's a round. That's the last round in a 30 round.
I just hope they're not doing it in an enclosed space. They'll never get the smell of maple syrup out.
That was my other Walther.
I see.
That's a
be
good
careful
sound.
with him. He's a two-fister.
I go akimbo.
The next 6 minutes, the official two-fister of the Chaos 120.
Hey, I get down.
So, the update on the poll. Apparently, I'm the better half.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Even Steven agrees.
I do.
Only because I'm his better half.
Yeah.
True.
Sylvanas pulled ahead.
By 1 vote.
Oh.
I'm not even going near that one.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone.
I caught myself before 3 things came out of my face.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
Lucky as sweeper.
Oh.
You know we have a good group when we actually recognize, hey, that's a gun in the background. And we're not surprised.
As a tea drinker, this is very this this would suck for me if this happened. Couple detained after hibiscus mistaken for pot.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh. A couple who say they were handcuffed for hours in a police patrol car after their hibiscus plants were confused for marijuana are suing the police.
Poor hibiscus. The dumbasses got what they deserve, but the poor plants.
Let's see. And let's see. The police and insurance company. Where was I? We're confused for marijuana are suing the police and an insurance company. Okay. Edward and Audrey Kramer say the lawsuit filed Tuesday that a nationwide insurance company agent investigating a voluntary at their Buffalo Township home sent photos of their flowering plant to police. The lawsuit alleges that the Buffalo Township police officers with my gosh. The lawsuit alleges that Buffalo Township police officers with assault rifles went to their home on October 7th to investigate. Audrey Kramer, 66, said she was partially dressed when she went to the door and the police would not let her put on pants before she was handcuffed. I was not treated as though I was a human being, she said. I was just something that they were going to push aside. Edward Kramer said he returned home an hour A half hour later to find his wife in the back of a police cruiser and officers pointing guns at him. He was also placed in the cruiser despite trying to convince the officers the plants were hibiscus, not marijuana. They actually ignored me, he said. They wouldn't even listen. I said, I can show you the pictures on the internet. The Kramers eventually were released without charges. They are seeking monetary and compensatory damages and court costs. Nationwide Insurance declined to comment on Friday, citing the litigation. Township Police also declined comment. Let me find a picture of hibiscus, and we'll be the judge.
Yeah, because Grandma and Grandpa are into the thug life like that, right?
Wow.
Nice.
Listen, I was once
Buffalo?
pulled over, and they brought a fucking dog in, and it fucking alerted on my trunk, only to have them. They forced me to open the trunk, only to find out that I had fucking meat in the back.
Yeah,
It's
that's
called
about
a
right.
grocery run.
Wow.
Imagine that a dog goes after meat. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah,
Right?
no, it blows the mind, man.
Well, listen, these fucking cops are professional liars. They're allowed to lie to you, but if you lie to them, it's a felony. So what I tend to tell these fucking penises is, listen, you don't need to worry about what I'm doing. You need to worry about why you're worried about what I'm doing, because if you weren't a fucking liar, you wouldn't be worried about everybody lying.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it takes them about 20 minutes to stop scratching their head trying to figure out what I said, which is probably a great vacation for their balls.
Okay,
About right.
here is a picture of a hibiscus plant if anybody wants to put that on their screen and present it.
I would love to, but I'm on my laptop, not my desktop, and if I go out of the Hangout screen, I will lose you guys.
Well, I will also put it in chat so they can see what a hibiscus plant looks like.
Yeah, hibiscus has never looked anything like marijuana.
No.
Yeah.
I know. I used to grow both.
You too?
That is a hibiscus
Oh,
plant.
yeah.
Marijuana.
I used to grow several plants in my neighbor's cornfield. I use Miracle Grow on it, man. I got some big, thick, sticky buds.
I don't really got a lot of room here. My yard is something like a 32nd of an acre or a 64th. I forget. It might even be a 120th. I forget. It's something. It's 20 by. No, sorry. It's 30 across by I think something like 6 feet deep. My yard ain't that big.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really have that much room. I have what the local. I forget what the local term, the term for this, but the local term that they use, it's a slang term. They would call it a guinea garden, because back in the day, the old timers would come here from the old country, and they have very small amount of space to grow anything in. So they, the smallest amount of area you'd have, you fence off and you'd grow something.
That's the way
So
we do it over home.
yeah. So I got maybe a 5 by 10 spot that I just grow some shit in, and I don't know, I like hibiscus, I like orchids, I like aphids, azaleas, all that shit. And I grow all this different wild shit with I throw some reefer in there, and over the summer I'd have this wild little garden.
This is what I drink routinely. And put that in chat.
What, hibiscus tea?
Yeah, I buy that in the supermarket. It's the same plant.
Yeah, I'm pretty fond of gardening and different teas.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother was a herbalist as well as an English teacher, so I grew up with that kind of thing.
Nice.
I get, like, if you find a willow, like a black willow tree, if you have a headache or a toothache or something, you just pull off a piece of the bark, and where it starts to get lighter, you scrape that. You chew it and swallow the juice. It's the exact same chemical compound as like aspirin.
Yeah, I remember when my grandmother used to do that when I was a kid.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How the hell do you make nature illegal?
Well, in my house, because both my parents weren't their parents weren't Americans themselves. They were immigrants, so they grew up not in American households. So when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to eat American food. My mother still uses a lot of folk remedies, like what is that? It's a Irish trick, right? But the trick for a hangover, I think what it is, you drink tomato juice and you have a lemon and you rub the halves under your armpits, and the combination fixes your pH and it gets rid of the hangover in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, she swears by it. She goes through enough water of life too, so I'm sure I'll take her at a word.
You ever heard of the what is it? It's putting a bar of soap next to your feet when you sleep to prevent restless leg.
I think I heard of that one.
Well, no, what was that now? My brother just came home real quick.
Yeah, what you do if you have like that restless leg, whenever you're about to go to sleep and your leg flinches and it wakes you up, supposedly if you put a bar of soap, and I know people who swear by it, put a bar of soap at the foot, under your bed sheets where your feet are, it's supposed to do something to prevent that. Is that what somebody's cell phone?
Yeah, they do that to
that was my text message.
Fidgety legs.
Yeah. My father used to use that old non-politically correct term. He used to refer to it as St. Vitus dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to love it. He used to drive all the yuppies around to ape shit when he would use terms like that.
Yeah, I can't say that anyone's ever done a study on it, but I know there's an assload of anecdotal evidence for it.
That term, right?
Well, yeah, the term on putting the soap under the sheet there by the feet.
Yeah.
Hey, since noticing Burnside's here. Burnside, did you notice something?
Yeah, you muted me about 2 or 3 different times while I was doing shit.
I only muted you once. I can't do really much with my laptop, thank you.
One of you motherfuckers muted me about 3 different times I was trying to do shit, and you're lucky enough that I actually had work to do instead of talking to be able to do things.
I only muted you once. I have not muted anybody. And I'm not even next to my laptop. I'm right now talking to Sweeper on my phone.
Oh, somebody push the damn buttons because I sure as hell did.
But anyways, did you notice your team's doing fucking amazing this year?
I've been sleeping too much to even fucking take a look at anything, man. I've been working and sleeping and trying to get my damn laundry done. That's
Are we
really
talking
all
about
I've
big
had time
black
for
hawks
nowadays.
again?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Nice.
Yeah,
he likes them calls.
My laptop is literally on the other end of the bed.
Sure. And then you go and meet me again, motherfucker.
Really? You want to play this game?
Apparently we have all night. Like it's different from any other day, damn it.
This is where I am. I'm far away from it. That's why the camera's off.
Uh-huh.
Well, apparently your team is doing very well tonight, Sylvanas.
Really? The Red Wings are actually doing good?
Yeah, they beat Buffalo 3-1.
Nice. I was busy as hell all day today, so I didn't know that.
The New York Rangers got shut out 2-0. Columbus.
How'd the Islanders do?
Islanders, let's see, what was their last game? That would have probably been yesterday. Let's see. No, actually the day before yesterday. Or perhaps the day before yesterday. Oh, they beat Carolina 6-4.
Nice.
On the 16th. Stars do not play until tomorrow.
Did anybody see that article from RT about the Nazi No Laughing Matter article, other than me?
I haven't gotten a chance to read it yet.
It had a little video on it. I put up a little note, just cracking wise about it, and boy, did I manage to hawk some people off. Because apparently some college kids threw a Nazi theme party. They said it was to make fun of Nazis and stuff like that. And I said, really? That would have been a bitchin' party.
It would have been.
Nice.
I love it when people on Minds or something call me a Nazi too. I'm like, how the fuck could I be a Nazi, you cunt? I'm Irish.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're just shitheads.
Exactly.
They have an
the
IQ
problem.
lower than Mayo.
What's that, love?
I said they have an IQ lower than Mayo.
Yeah, I've seen Brits
Yeah.
that have higher IQs than that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, Mickey. They're just a bunch of inept chronic masturbators. They'll eventually, if you ignore them, they'll eventually go back to jerking off in the corner until they die.
Are you saying they have a doctorate in dick beating?
Yes.
Well, most of the time, I have a doctorate in gender studies. It's the same thing.
Oh,
More or less,
fuck.
yeah.
God, that's funny.
I like it when they come up and try to talk shit to me. I don't care, Oh, you're a white supremacist. Nah, you're just fucking stupid.
Well, when they do that to me, they're like racist. Yes, and I make a point, biscuit lip. What are you gonna do about it? Okay, you're not. All right, make an argument. Make a fucking argument then. Fine, I'm a Nazi. So what? If that's all you have left is an ad hominem attack, then you're so fucking pathetic. Did your mother have any kids that lived, you asshole?
Oh.
Honestly, look, generally, Burnside will tell you I'm actually not that vitriolic of a fellow.
Mm-hmm.
I have just completely run out of patience for stupid.
You ran out of your last give a fuck.
Like fly shit on a windshield, mate. It's gone.
Oh, bro, you're preaching to the choir. Look at it this way. Chuck Schumer's my senator.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Listen here, boy. We won't have you talking no shit about it.
It's so bad, man. I leave my house and like the girl across the street from me, I'm convinced she's a member of Antifa. I mean, she's one of those crazy bitches that was running. Literally, she was running around in Manhattan with no top on, with a fucking cape, with all that body paint and shit, screaming.
The electrical tape on her nipples.
No. It just, it's got a nice set too. That's the sad part. It's too bad she's nuts. But she's sitting there throwing shit at people. It's just, I can't stand this shit. I got no patience left for these people, and I'm not gonna let them, hang any of their labels on me. I won't play their games when they're like, "Oh, you're a racist." No, I ain't racist. You're just an idiot. You can't comprehend shit, so you're just gonna throw shit at me. Like you're gonna call me names because you can't understand anything. You want to box, motherfucker? Let's box. Okay, break it down. How am I a racist? Well, you voted for this person. Really? I voted for Trump. Okay, you know how many people I know personally that work for him who got names you can't even pronounce? Rainbow? Where are you from, you slack-witted half-wit? Oh, I'm from Arkansas. I'm visiting you. So you're from Arkansas. You're in my city. You're yelling at me. Get the fuck out of here. How often I run into people that they're from all over. It's not New Yorkers. You know why? We're walking there. We're trying to get to fucking work. It's all these people. They come here. Oh, my parents are paying for me to stay here for the summer. Really? Get the fuck out of here. Don't do this in your own town.
Yeah, go shit in your fucking pants.
I don't want to say that now, because I said that to them last summer. Then they went back to their own towns and they're tearing down statues. I'd rather stay here. I'd rather they stay here because they start trying to tear down our statues. The NYPD will whoop the fuck out of them with their batons. They don't care.
Good. Whoop some discipline into them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hell,
That seems like a good opportunity.
Wrestathon, man.
Now seems like a good opportunity to point out that I didn't vote for Trump. I'm still not a fan of the guy, but the reaction of the people who flipped out when Hillary lost made me decide that we made the right decision between the two. And that's about as far as I go.
Exactly.
But there is a downside to Trump winning last year, man. There's gonna be a serious salt shortage this winter, so the roads might be frozen over.
That's okay. The tiers will make up
we'll
for
have
it.
plenty to supply you in Chicago.
I don't
because
know, man.
It
They
hasn't
might have tiered
snowed yet.
themselves out. They just screamed helplessly at the sky.
Well, look at it this way,
I know,
Toxic.
it was great.
That's
You know,
they're
we
running out.
actually have helicopters.
be
We
a
could have had them
shortage.
scream from the sky.
Look at this one, Fox. They've cried out so much already, the snow won't even stick to the ground.
Yeah, hopefully it'll turn them all into snowballs so that we can just roll them downhill.
You just
So
pack 'em in
I
the
am
truck.
shocked that plants aren't dying because of the amount of salt that has been.
Oh, I know, right? I mean, shit.
You've heard the term.
Rahm won't have to worry about a
You know
shortage
how we
anytime
have
soon,
salt
man.
water? We should have salt air now because of this shit.
Yeah, it's
why I
like
got-
corroding all the cars, and
That's
gonna
why
say,
I
that's
have a
already-
gas mask, man. This fucking air is funky from these fuckheads.
I
You
started telling people that I ask them, how do you feel about yard decorations? They say, why? I said, because I might Vlad Tepes you. I might think you make a good yard ornament as a warning to others. It's like a pig pull up your ass.
Nice. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome.
You know, I'm not gonna lie though, I am looking forward this year. My wife's trying to drag me into Manhattan for that fucking tree lighting. And, you know, honestly, I'd rather have another one of my teeth worked on than go into that fucking horrible, horrible island for that stupid fucking tree that they cut down, that they murdered this like 200-300-year-old tree. These rich bastards parade around it for this holiday they claim that they hate. So this year I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be the first Christmas under President Trump. And it's going to be in the city. I can't wait to see all these miserable bastards. I'm thinking of dressing like an elf just to be a prick.
Dude.
What else?
Yeah, right? Seriously. Big freaking wood elf walking around there.
Just be glad it's not Hanukkah trees. They'd be cutting down 13 of them.
Yeah.
Did you go out
Yeah.
and buy a shit ton of pocket constitutions and a big ass red bag dressed like Santa?
Oh,
You should wear a
fuck
MAGA
yeah,
hat.
dude. That would be awesome. Be MAGA
Yeah,
Claus.
get a fucking elf hat with MAGA written across the front of the
I was
fucking
thinking
thing.
of
It really
doing
pisses
that.
me off.
Hell yeah. That's a great idea, Mickey.
And bring Lauren Southern with you.
I just
Oh,
checked
yeah.
out. I just checked out our competition tonight. We are up against the Rageaholic, Irate Prostate. We are also against Based Mama and the Minions.
And the minions
shit.
I was
have
about to make fun of it, who we were up against, but Base Mama will win every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the minions also have Monkey and Scribe.
Yeah, it's basically Lords of the Night without the anchor.
I'm telling you, man, it's hard to compete against based boobs.
Yes.
True.
She's a
Scooby,
difficult opponent.
Yo.
Mm-hmm.
when you were telling that story earlier about the blacks up there having their fucking, how'd you call it, ape shit? In the circle I tend to run in, we call that a chimp out.
Oh fuck, that's awesome. That's funny.
First time I heard that term, man, there was a video that popped up years ago. This chick on a bus in Atlanta, fucking doing some kind of weird rap dance taunt at this little old lady sitting on this bus. Fucking bizarre, dude. And then this guy, like, I can't remember if he jumped up and punched her, or just grabbed her by the fucking weave, and then she flipped out. I'm pressing charges. I'm pressing charges. I'm pressing charges. Got stuck in a loop. It's fucking insane.
Oh shit, man.
I don't know. I've been to other parts of the country, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's rough here, but like our ghettos aren't that bad. Like when I went through, like, you know, Philly, you go through DC, like holy shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate saying it. I don't want to sound like, you know, an elitist. I guess we just got a better class of ghetto up here, because
You do. It's true.
yeah.
Well, down here, I live actually in Pennsylvania, just south and east of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And I will not go through the two parts of Pittsburgh, either the north side or Wilkinsburg, not without a fucking armored car anyway.
Yeah.
I did some work down there, and I literally watched a guy get his fucking head laid on McDonald's 100 feet away.
Holy shit.
He should have gone in through the drive-through.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Oh,
I'll be
man.
honest, the scariest city I've ever been in, probably, because it was at night and I got lost. Philly. Holy
That
shit.
can be a scary town at night.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the only time I'll be in Philly at night is if I'm leaving a ball game.
I came through Philly when I was driving truck one point, and I had nightmares for 3 days because all I saw was floating teeth.
Oh, fucking me, man.
Oh God.
I
That's
forget
great.
what part it was because we went with no map, and it was just, you know what it was. I was with my friends. I think I showed Six the article. I was with my brother. He's passed now, but he was all over the news. He escaped from a New York State prison. So I'm with him. And his cousin, and he's this kid's from like he grew up in like the worst part of Brooklyn. So it's the three of us, my wife and her friend, and we decided, okay, we're gonna go to Philly because we were in New Jersey at the time, and we figured it would be just the same as like going to Manhattan. So we go to Philly, and I have never seen anything like it in my life. I went roaring up a wrong way street, like flying, and I pull up to this cop, and he's looking at me, and I pull up next to him, and I like screech to a halt, and I have the window down, and I told him, I said, "Officer, I know I'm going the wrong way on a one-way. I don't care. What the fuck did I just come from?" I said, "It looked like something out of Blade Runner back there." I said, "There was friggin' cars up on blocks." I said, "There's a bunch of homeless people standing around a barrel with friggin' flames coming out of it, trying to keep warm." He looks at me and he smiles. He goes, "Welcome to Philadelphia, son."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the nail.
So I know I make fun of South San Antonio all the time, but really, it's even the most low-income barrios down there are fairly tame compared to some neighborhoods that I have seen in other cities. St.
Yeah,
Louis,
for sure.
in particular.
Yeah. And I heard Baltimore's a lovely place to live if you're a cop and you don't want to be bored.
Don't get me
Well,
started,
they've got a same solution for being bored in Baltimore that you guys have for people that want to leave without getting shot in Chicago over in Burnside territory.
Yeah.
You just get shot and you're no longer bored.
You guys hear about the detective that got shot in Baltimore?
Yeah.
That's just fucked up.
I bet his life doesn't matter though.
Oh no. Nah, this dead bodies matter.
Yeah.
Speaking of dead bodies, can I have my stats, Burnside?
We must have stats.
Sure. Let me go fetch those.
We must have testicles.
And I will give her
the 600 mark
introduction.
at Burnside?
Yes, and there was a whole article about that too. Which caused Burnside to bitch and moan because they got the number wrong. It wasn't 600, it was 602.
Okay.
He's a particular snit, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, right?
I will give a brief
that could bring
introduction
peace.
before the stats are read.
Yeah, the only thing that could bring peace to Chicago is Ferris Bueller.
Nice.
They would just get rid of the goddamn Democrats. That said, it would be fine.
Oh, definitely.
That goes for pretty much the country.
Country,
Yeah.
just put them in freaking California, then blow California off the freaking country.
About anywhere where the Democrats are the party in power, you see craptastic, just neighborhoods that were once great are now crumbling. I give you the example of Oakland, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis. Number goes on and on and on and on and on.
I gotta go steal the goddamn.
Really quick, Burnside, before you go
Give me
into
a
those
second
stats,
here.
before I forget, I wanted to say something. What'd you call it? When I was setting up the stream before, my mother called me and she tells me that there was a story broke on the news. They found out that there's a slush fund put aside by the Congress. You ready for this? For bribing the women and apparently the men that these senators fuck around with.
Oh shit, man.
You know, we're
yeah.
getting to the point where money's not going to help them anymore on that.
No.
Yeah, well, no, this is taxpayer money. They said it's
No, I'm saying
billions.
money's not gonna silence people anymore. It no longer works. They haven't figured it out yet, but
I know
that's
that.
done.
Well, I'm just saying, they said that this thing goes back over. They said the records go back over 50 years. So they've been.
Oh, I bet, man.
Well,
It's not a surprise.
Well, when Burnside's done, I want to follow up with what he has to say with something else that I've actually seen recently. So,
Now, how much of that money got soggy on Ted Kennedy?
Yeah. Oh,
It depends. How close was he standing to Weinstein when he was playing with his plants?
Oh, I was thinking of a certain boat ride.
Yeah, that's been coming up a lot lately.
Yeah.
A lot. You know, and I keep thinking, why wasn't it coming up 30 years ago, 40 years ago? When did it happen now? You know?
I've been bringing it up for 20.
Yeah.
And I'm only 36 years old, and I've been bringing it up for 20.
Yeah, same thing with me. I started bringing it up about over 20 years ago. Hell,
Yeah.
I've been talking about. Don't even get me started. When JFK Jr.'s plane went down, there's just so much shit. I'm just glad this is all coming out in the wash. I just wish my father were alive to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
It's all the vindication that people from previous generations deserved.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, before Burnside gets back, I want to give our introduction here for the stats. I want
Sorry. My dog decided he wanted to try to get the leash from out from around his paw, and decided to circle several times in the process and managed to tie up all of his other legs in the process.
There you go. That's democratic leadership right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to go steal the CPD Wi-Fi, but I finally got the stats. I got good news and I got bad news.
Okay. Excellent. Well, before you get into the stats here, I just want everybody to light some candles and pray to the gun control gods of our patron saint of nutshots, Rahm Emanuel. Peace and testicles be upon him. May the testicles roll downhill, and many candles were lit. Proceed.
All right, Chatelet. Let's get right to it then.
Chatelet.
Right, the bad news is there's only 614 dead bodies, so we've only got about 3-4 more from last time.
More candles need to be lit. The gun control gods must be appeased. There must be much peace and many testicles to be upon our patron saint, Rahm Emanuel.
Well, as we saw recently in Northern California, gun control totally works.
Yeah. We don't have any more carjackings. We've only got a grand whopping total of 713. We haven't had any more of those. And we've got...
What about the nutshots?
What about our new stat, too?
We've got 55. I think we gained one nut shot. Just one.
55, not bad. It took us forever to get from 49 to 50. It's nice to see we've picked up again.
I know, right? It's about fucking
It's coming to the holiday season.
Yeah,
people do like nutcrackers around the Christmas holiday.
Don't forget Black Friday. We have high expectations.
They also love their little jingle
Hey,
balls.
Black Fridays matter.
Black Fridays matter because they get an exceptional amount of dead bodies, and that's what really matters.
But those are at Walmart. They're not gun crimes.
At the end of the day, they all wind up being registered Democrat voters. That's all that matters. You can just bury them in a shallow grave and then just take their IDs and register them as Democrats and then just, vote for our great patron Saint Rahm Emanuel 10 times in a row with 10 different dead bodies. And then, dead bodies matter. So it's all
May
about those
peace and
illegal
testicles be upon him.
Indeed.
Big, hairy, sticky testicles be upon him.
The kind the Vice City Cubans would be proud to meet.
Oh, absolutely.
Big cojones.
Big bleeding cojones.
That roll downhill.
Indeed. And that's pretty much about it. The rest of the stats are stagnant.
Well, I was going to point out that something I read again. It really hasn't changed much. But if you look at the United States and the gun deaths and crimes committed, we are 8th from the top, which is actually 2 down from the last time I looked. But when you remove Chicago, New Orleans, Georgia, and I believe LA, we're 4th from the bottom.
Yeah. Well, and then if you also remove the suicides, you lose 70% of those.
Right.
So even then, if you take the suicides out, you've significantly altered the statistic, but they count them as part of the same statistic.
But I would like to point out that gun control damn well does work, because look at that 55-year-old chap down in Texas there. He had a steady stance, a smooth pull, a proper sighting.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I thought his control was excellent.
That boy had the force on his side.
Yeah.
And he got Cooter to fucking give him a ride to chase him.
Yep. That's how Texas rolls.
I like Texas.
I may not live in Texas anymore, but I'm still proud of my time in Texas, and I would still consider myself culturally a Texan at this point.
I am a citizen of the great city
We already have
of Antonio,
someone
Texas.
appropriating?
What was that?
Jeez. I said, Plain, didn't you not notice we already have one person culture appropriating right now?
I'm going to do it all the time. That's just my default. I'll grow dreadlocks if I have to push that point.
Nice.
But I don't think anybody wants that.
Cat, do you guys know?
Hey, this country was built on cultural appropriation.
This country was built on cultural exchange. Cultural appropriation is just the rebranding and demonization of the concept.
Indeed.
It was a melting pot. And then SJWs came along and said, no, it's a cultural appropriation. It's a fucking melting pot, and let's go back to it.
Well, it's either going to be a melting pot or it's...
playing with dreadlocks.
We either need the melting pot or we don't need it at all.
Agreed. If they don't want the melting pot thing, they could easily just move to Canada, because that's what Canada is all about.
No, they call that poutine, and it's gravy, not melted stuff.
And it's delicious.
It is delicious. Actually, the reason I was so late is I was out trying to find some cheese curds, so I want to make some.
Well, the part that always makes me laugh about these lefties is they're saying about how fucking great all these Mexicans are coming north. Well, why the hell ain't they going south when Trump got elected then? Everybody was going to Canada.
Exactly.
You know, you remember my friend that I mentioned that was basically working as a slave in Canada? The Mexican friend that went up there to work the fields and ended up stranded and working under the table? With the help of a GoFundMe, guess where she went?
Where?
Mexico.
Back to Mexico.
Sweet.
And she is an SJW lesbian feminist.
Is she also a quad gender trans?
So what you're saying is she's junk DNA?
No, I'm saying we might have a start on someone coming to their senses now that they realize what the conditions really are when you illegally immigrate somewhere.
Listen, I was reading this article about some asshole buying a bunch of land down there so they couldn't build the wall. We've already got
the
something
Cards Against
for
Humanity people.
Yeah, we've already got
God,
something for that. It's they can seize the land and give you what they say is the proper amount for it.
Yeah, well, they hired one of the they put on retainer one of the apparently best eminent domain lawyers, but because there's an actual legitimate purpose for the government to take the land, they're going to find that they've wasted their money.
Right. Hey, listen, we can hang these turds from the wall like they're fucking Christmas ornaments. No problem.
Yeah, this one will not take long. It will be a very quick and open and shut case, especially since they're not using the land for anything. They're legitimately just buying it to obstruct.
Another buddy of mine said, why not use a trebunch on our side of the wall to launch them back across?
Nice.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
Why not?
It's funny. I hear that a
make it
lot.
sport.
I start talking like that, saying, we could repopulate the oceans by wood chipping liberals into it.
You know what?
We can make an artificial reef out of them.
Yeah, chum the waters.
Yeah.
Hey,
bring the sharks back to Alcatraz.
Exactly, yeah.
Well,
it'd be great for the depleting shark population as well as the several types of bass we have.
Hey, shark lives matter.
Indeed.
Yes, they do.
Jeez.
My whole thing with the wall, and a lot of people don't even think about this, is all of the corruption that it's going to expose. If you think about this, every village, every hamlet, every town, every county, every municipality that this wall is going to have to cut through is going to have to be completely audited. Both the state, local, and federal ones are all going to have to be audited. It's going to overturn so much corruption. It's a blessing in and of itself just for that.
Well,
I think that was half the point.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. But does anybody else but me remember the statement from Cunt Clinton where she said, "If that fucking guy gets into office, we're all gonna fucking go to prison"?
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to that part.
Me too. I'm just
hell
thinking,
yeah.
you know, that alone is worth all the bullshit.
Yeah.
She was my other senator, and now her replacement, what's her name, Gillibrand, is the new one that's causing all the trouble. I
Fuck's
can't
sake,
fucking
man.
stand these people.
How the fuck do you want? Do you have to get like shim kits for your asshole? Because they fuck you hard up there.
You know, I say this all the time, and I got no shame saying it too. It's because we got Don Andrew up over in Albany. He's a mafioso. I have no problem saying that piece of shit. You know, you
wait,
hire.
there are people who don't know that.
Yeah, they call the voting Democratic population of New York. These fucking
Oh
idiots.
wait, hang on. It's because I'm Italian. I forget that people don't recognize this shit anymore.
Oh, speaking of which, Blaine,
I know what this looks
I'll
like.
tell you know, you can say this to people when they talk to you. When we were talking before about cultural appropriation, say what I say to them. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. We're going to close up all them Starbucks you like so much. Well, what do you mean? Well, I said, you know, you look at the sign. You see that Vente? I said, that ain't English.
Yeah.
I said, you guys are appropriating. I said, so we're going to close this place down. I said, there you
Yeah.
go. I said, so
And
plus, you know, we'll
where do you
close
think
everything.
espresso and cappuccino all come from?
Yeah. Yeah, you hit them with that when they start talking about cultural appropriation. You can start closing down everything they love really quick.
Almost everything they like in that coffee shop's Italian, except for the stuff that's Indian.
Yeah. There you go. There's the other half that you can hit them with like that. Look at all the oppression they use. It doesn't matter that they're actually providing, you know, economic growth for whatever partners that they have over there. You can't explain that to these communist pricks. So you have to use like their own logic against them. Oh, look, see, the Indian people are doing business with them. That means they're oppressed. They're in chains over there. Why? Because it's India. They can't have an actual business with us. No, that doesn't happen. That's, you know, that would be modern.
This is why I love the Kekistan meme. Is because it's an easy way to turn it all around.
Yeah.
Hey, Burnside, isn't this what I tell you and Vol and a bunch of these other bunch of the other group all the time? You fucking use their rules against them. You club them with their own fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
On their own
sets
petard.
the fucking rules.
Yep.
And you got to be dirtier than them about it.
Yeah, you do.
Definitely.
You have to be very stringent about it in ways that they never intended. One of the things that I've always held near and dear in terms of legislation and writing rules and politics and all that is that you should never write any law, and this is talking about legislation. Never support any law that you wouldn't want your worst enemy to interpret against you.
Pretty much wipes them all out, doesn't it?
It does, and that's one of the reasons I am small L libertarian, not the party. Those people are nuts, but you know, that's why I hold libertarian philosophies, is because I do not trust people to craft laws that aren't going to be abused to that extent. You have to have a minimum of required laws and go.
Well, that's one of my greatest arguments. What they fucking say is, you're too stupid, ignorant, uneducated, unable to control your inhibitions to be able to do shit for yourself. However, you're smart enough, intelligent enough, savvy enough, and wise enough to be able to vote somebody into the office that can do it fucking for you. That's just a stupid, ignorant, self-centered, you know, asshole. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm not arrogant enough to believe that I'm going to do it right if they put me in there, but I'd certainly give it a shot to minimize it.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about running for magistrate down here. Just say that when these fucking revenue generating pricks come in, they fucking sit down. All somebody has to ask me, ask the cop is, well, can you factually prove that the law applies? And I'm going to look at the cop and go, well, can you? No? Well, then dismissed.
Yeah. That's basically how I would do it.
Yeah,
I
go
basically
for it, man.
look at
Fuck
this
it.
shit.
I was back in what is it, Hurricane Katrina years, so what is it, like 10, 11 years ago, I was participating in a simulation of the US government online in a forum format, and I was operating as a representative from Texas at the time, and I ended up putting myself in there as a libertarian, and I was caucusing with the Republicans, and somehow I ended up respected by both sides because I was actually doing things fairly. And the Democrats put me in charge of a committee. And one of the things that happened was I put in rules for the committee that everything had to come to the floor instead of just the little political, what people wanted. And I could push things to the top though because I was the committee chair. So I pushed one immediately after Katrina up into the discussion. And there was a misspelling throughout the entire document to investigate price gauging instead of gouging. And then someone tried, and I put it out there and took the floor and said that we should reject this because obviously there's price gauging. That's how prices work. And someone tried to amend it, and I looked at the rules of how we were supposed to conduct ourselves in the Congress, and I said we can't accept this amendment because it fundamentally alters the meaning of the bill.
Exactly.
And I told them that they were welcome to, if they wanted to investigate price gouging, they were welcome to submit a bill to do that, but we were not under the authority of the rules permitted to significantly change the meaning of a bill to that extent. Exactly. And we unanimously shut that bill down.
What I think is fascinating is even right down
They were so pissed.
Oh yeah. Well, when I piss people off. Burnside knows this too. Is I get pulled over, I'm arrested probably more than anybody else I've ever fucking known. Simply because I just don't take their shit. I get pulled over. They're like, "Give me this, give me that, give me." Well, first and foremost, Sparky, you got to tell me why you pulled me over, and it better be probable cause.
Yeah.
And they give me their running shit. I said, okay, well, then I got a couple questions before I give this to you. Can you use the documents that you're demanding from me against me in court? Yes, I can. And what if I don't give them to you? What is going to happen? Well, I'm going to arrest you. Okay, and what are you going to do with my property? Well, I'm going to impound it. Okay, so what you just told me was for a code violation, which does not rise to the level of a crime, you're willing to force me to give something you can use against me in a court against the Fifth Amendment. Then you're going to not allow me to have an opportunity to secure my property papers and effects against the Fourth Amendment for something that isn't even a fucking crime and rises to the level of a crime, which is a violation of an individual's rights and or a fact of damage with a private citizen certified criminal complaint. Now you're in violation. You just committed I don't know how many fucking felonies.
Yeah.
And you've been recorded this whole time. It doesn't work well for them. I don't argue the law with them. I just go in and ask questions until they contradict themselves.
Yeah.
And then I fucking destroy them.
It's not hard. You're not operating under their actual authority.
They have no authority.
I know.
Like I asked one, you ought to seen this judge. He turned purple. It was beautiful. Wish I could have had a camera. It was just simple. I asked him, if there's a conflict of interest, can I get a fair trial? No. Okay. Where's the money in your paycheck come from? From the general fund. And this guy in the gray uniform here, where's his paycheck come from? From the general fund. Where's the money that I'd be paying if I found guilty go to? To the general fund. You're saying there's no conflict of interest here? Is that what you're saying to me?
Nice.
Actually, what I did was I played like the Babe in the Woods look on my face. Like, so you don't see a conflict of interest in this? You realize you got fucked and that's how this all got started.
What did I miss?
Everything.
You're on Hammer.
Big Black Box.
Well, it must have been quite a party.
No, I was just.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah, I was expounding on asking common sense questions of authorities in a courtroom to have them disprove their own bullshit. It's really not that hard.
Hey, Six.
Yes.
We've all been talking and
Let me guess. Nobody likes me.
I like you.
Oh, we like this.
Yeah, we love it, man.
That was a good night.
So, I don't know if you know the story behind this, but I was making noodles while people were giving Hammer the heave-ho.
Yeah. Missed that myself.
Yeah, there's now a T-shirt.
Yes, it's on my Team Public, which if you're going to be on the late night talk with Sweeper Steve and me, will be one of the second link from the top.
Cool.
Yeah, I got back from making ramen noodles, and everybody seemed to be in this weird, excited state, and it's like, what the hell did I just miss?
And we were all fucking laughing.
Oh man.
Yeah, he got invited into a post-stream hangout, and I was elected to do the talking. And I believe the way I broke it to him was something along the lines of, "We've all been talking and nobody likes you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I missed all of this because I had the hankering for some shrimp-flavored ramen noodles.
Yeah.
You don't like the shrimp? Come on.
I don't like any of the damn ramen noodles.
The shrimp is my favorite flavor.
I don't
You
want
weren't imbibing any of those tea leaves, were you?
I was having a bit of my hibiscus herbal.
He was huffing hibiscus.
Picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue.
Yeah.
Well, I have to admit, I tried snorting coke once, but the ice cube stuck to my nose hairs. It was a pain in the ass. I quit.
Apparently, Normie has run out of rum.
Why is all the rum gone?
Nice.
I don't know, but I'm looking at a lovely bottle of Redbreast single pot still Irish whiskey, 12 years old.
Ooh.
Nice.
It's making my mouth water.
Oh, I bet, man.
It's singing a siren song.
I haven't had any good whiskey in a while.
I'm a whiskey snob, mate. Absolutely. Well, considering where I come from, you got to take it in cake.
I would expect no less.
Absolutely not. That's why we're superior. We were born with 2 livers and 4 kidneys. Now, if you guys really want, you have to order it like from across the pond, you know. But yeah, it's Redbreast single pot still Irish whiskey. Get the 12-year stuff. Absolutely divine.
What if you're cheap but patient? Could you just get the regular stuff and wait for 10 years?
I suppose you could do that.
I don't expect anyone to be that patient. I'm just curious.
Aging in the bottle is not going to do much for it.
I know it won't.
It's an aging in the cask, which does her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what if you order a whole cask?
You could not eat the fucking cask if I could. I'd have it with a salad.
But your
That
salad
seems fair.
Lots
That's a lot of fiber for one meal.
Well, you'll know you're regular.
Oh,
Get a bottle.
only
of
Big Ben is
I don't know that I go quite that far.
I used to piss me mum off. She'd be like, "Your bows are more regular than big men." Thank you very much. Proper whiskey, ma.
That's how you know your watch works.
Well,
So
seeing
I
how
have to,
I'm leaving, Kat, I want to address something about tomorrow. I will not be doing my Patreon/support stream tomorrow. I don't know when I'll be doing the November one. If I don't get to it this month, I will do it at the beginning of December and just do November's and December's support stream something tomorrow and next month.
Cool.
Okay.
Nah, do what you got to do.
Conflict of interest all of a sudden. I ended up getting a job and they scheduled me right during the time that I was supposed to be doing the Patreon stream. Like, God damn it.
That sucks.
Life happens to us all that way.
Yeah, I need the money. A lot of things changed, and the area of the country I'm moving to is not really the cheapest.
California stand?
New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
For fuck's sake. Why would you go there? They make you pay to live.
Because my other half lives there. And I don't think he's ever going to leave there. Ever.
There's these things, there's this stuff called duct tape, chloroform, and car boots.
Baby, could you
do it for him, save
That's about how that conversation would go. Scooby, I need your help carrying Sweeper. What did you do?
Here, honey, drink this.
Hey, Sweeper, does this smell like chloroform to you?
See, I don't know, man. Once you get used to living in a place like this, it is hard to leave.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I could live anywhere else in the country, I'll be honest. Maybe Miami. I liked it in Miami.
Why Miami? I lived there.
Cuban women?
Yeah. Oh my
Pulled
God.
pork sandwiches.
Yeah.
The only thing good in Miami is all the fucking gel bait. Just nice eye candy.
You can't expose him on stream like that.
No, I'm gonna put it like this. I don't know. I guess I don't know how I put it. The big dog got a bit of a sweet tooth for brown sugar, and there's a lot of it down there, and I enjoy it. And there's really nothing else to it. A lot of eye candy. Never really was into like white broads. Never was into white broads in general. You know, my wife looks. You know, I tell her all the time. You know, my joke that I usually say to her, and it's funny too, because she's short like you, Sylvanas, so she jumps up and hits me all the time. She punches me in the back of the head because I tell her, you know, she looks like Salma Hayek came off a diet.
Oh fuck, dude.
But you know, she's the same mix as me. She's half Sicilian, half Irish, but it's reversed. You know, her father's Irish and her mother's Sicilian. But for whatever reason, she looks the whole deal. She looks, you know, she's dark as fuck. She doesn't look like me. You know, I look like a blue-eyed Cuban.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. I don't mind. Everyone tells like it fucks with people's heads. You know, when they look at me, they think I'm like Spanish. Then like I'll whip off the sunglasses and I got like those, you know, guys like the fucking vampires from Twilight, and it fucks with their skull. But
Honestly, it might make Sweeper feel a little awkward, but you're a very gorgeous man. You really are.
I know, probably it does look good, man.
Oh, me?
Yes.
All right.
You are a very gorgeous man.
Scoob, you are a certified hottie.
Thanks.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Put you on the cover of Teen Beat.
I saw him more as a Tiger Beat kind of guy.
Oh,
But all
right.
his skin makes good kin.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'd go to Miami for a pulled pork sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Like a in quotes or without quotes?
Actually, the
The
food there
one
is
thing
pretty
I
good.
enjoyed when I was down in Florida, as far as food, was Cuban sandwiches. Those were absolutely
Yeah.
delicious, and I missed those fucking things. Those were goddamn amazing.
White
The other thing I missed was the anime conventions and the Wang Dang Poontang that came with it.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
You just
that.
look for the one with the wildest hair and go at it.
Oh yeah, I tell you, the chicks that wielded the giant scythes back when Soul Leader came around, and the ones that wielded the giant swords when Bleach came around, they were the most wangingest, bangingest broads you could get there. Oh,
I could believe that.
you'd get several one-ups in a single session, man. Just damn. It was nice. It was very, very nice.
Did you ever have a fresh key lime pie while you were in FLA?
Is this in quotes too?
Believe me, one of the first things I did when I was down there, and she looked at me and she's like, "Why are you getting that?" She's like, "You never get that." I said, "It's the experience. I want to try it here." She's like, "It's the same as up by us." I said, "Can't I? I'm getting a pina colada too, and I don't normally drink." I said, "Well, let me enjoy it a little bit. I'm gonna get a cigar. I haven't had a cigar in years. I'm on vacation. You're gonna go lay out on the beach like a walrus." Yeah, no, I had a slice of it while I was down there, and it does taste better when you're in Florida.
Everything tastes better when you're on holiday, though.
Yeah.
This is true.
Oh yeah. I would like to move back.
Yeah, I haven't had a vacation in God knows how long. Boy, do I need one.
Oh, we all, man.
I got a question, Sweeper.
What's that?
Are you ready for the BuzzFeed cancer for our late night talk?
Oh God.
Oh, BuzzFeed.
Always
what
with the
communism
cancer.
have they brought to us today?
How high is the fire in their dumpster fire this time?
Well, I know, and a little story. I had a friend that heard about me and Sweeper getting ready to do late night talk, and she made a request on us doing a few articles for long distance relationship because we're now current ex. Sent them to her saying that these things will work. So she wants us to poke every hole we possibly can.
Yeah, I'll make sure when the stream starts, I'll get the bleach ready.
Well, you guys are welcome to join if you want to be a part of it.
I don't know. I'm still fighting to keep myself awake just to finish out this game. Because it's 1:45 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Oh yeah, dog.
It's getting pretty late here too.
What? You're on the West Coast. The sun's probably still out there.
It is.
Burnside. Burnside. No.
Blackhawks.
Elevator.
I need to go up.
56 in that shot.
Burnside.
He's making strip noodles.
What now? I was
We've been
getting my
talking.
coffee. What the hell? What?
This is what I love about this group is that we
never stay on track. We all go chaos.
I do everything I can to make sure that we're not professional about it.
And we give each other shit, but it's
coffee and stuff in my face.
With what?
Big Blackhawks.
I was gonna say elevators.
You want to join?
No one's needed to use the elevator yet.
This is one of the reasons I love this stream is that we rip on each other all the time, and everybody's cool with it.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're not a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Our skins are thick.
Oh, none of you.
Oh yeah. Our skins are thick and we don't have foreskins.
That's not necessarily true.
I was going to say, what window have you been paping in Burnside?
Shut it down. We've been infiltrated, boys.
What? I'm not Jewish.
Are you sure? Because there seems to be the same difference.
Well, I'm not Jewish, and I got the foreskin to prove it.
Told someone I didn't want this pic.
Oh god. I don't even respond that. That's so fucking hysterical.
I get a random guy saying, I want to send you a dick pic, and I say no. And I say, no. A member of my class goes, hey, I have foreskin.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, when they send you a dick pic, send them one back. I'll show you yours if you show me mine.
I'm sorry, but my other half will kill me.
Oh, good lord, that's funny as fuck.
If any guy ever sends you, if a guy sends you a dick pic, what you do is you turn around, you just type into like Bing search, type in 24-inch black penis. No, just type in 24-inch black penis and send whatever guy it is back that picture.
No, just text back. What the hell happened to it?
You could always also say, was it cold?
Did somebody chip chop your ham?
Did the moil miss?
Sad.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Oh, shit. You got to be this long to get on this ride.
Oh, that's funny.
Let me see if this will let me share up.
So, Burnside, do you want to join Late Night Talk?
Okay.
Sleeper?
All right, I'm going to throw it in my Discord. Anyone who wants to share it up, I'm putting a dick pic in my in the live stream planning.
Oh God.
Yeah, Sylvanas, I'm going to try and manage. I'm pretty fucking beat, man. I could not
There you go. I put a dick
all
pic in the
today.
live stream planning, straight in the live stream planning channel.
The name says it all. I don't even have to open it.
Jeez.
I don't know, man. It looks a little tricky.
It does.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna dive out so I could get Late Night up and running so it starts running on time.
Okay.
All right.
So,
All right.
I hope to see some of you on my channel in like 8 minutes. Have fun with the next 6 minutes.
It's almost the next 6 minutes.
I'll try and give it a shot.
It's an entire cylinder and 2 extra rounds.
You've got backup, man.
I've got backup.
So what do you think? How's my dick pic looking?
It's looking tricky there. It's looking very tricky.
It's on the dignified side, though, you have to admit.
Yeah.
Would you put it in a top hat?
I don't think that's the right era for it.
You remember those knitted costumes? We did a couples around Halloween. That was fucking funny.
Yeah.
So I can put that on right now real quick if somebody wants me to.
Yeah, we can afford the strike. Go ahead and put my dick pic up.
Oh, that's funny.
So this stream might be threatened with impeachment.
It might be.
Oh, I can't wait for the day.
I understand that some find that kind of a photograph offensive.
What were you saying, Mickey?
I was just saying I can't wait for the day they ban me from YouTube.
Yeah.
Ooh. I pull no punches over there. Absolutely. Man.
Sorry, I've been a bit quiet, everybody, but I've been fucking exhausted all goddamn day.
It's all good.
It's all good, man.
Yeah,
It's been a weird Friday.
It's been weird fucking 2, 3, almost a whole fucking month because nobody else wants to do these nights because they're lazy motherfuckers, stupid motherfuckers, or motherfuckers afraid of the Heinrich ghosts in the basement. Swear to fucking God on that last one.
Heinrich Himmler's in your basement?
Apparently.
Can you get me an autograph?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm not gonna do a goddamn thing. I'm gonna let that asshole Gustav all he fucking wants all over this place, man.
And frankly, that's what I'd do too.
He's dead. What the hell do I care?
Nice.
So if he
Dr.
scares the hell out
Mengele
of me,
doing prostate exams down there?
Yeah, probably.
You know, he's a little experimental.
Him and Kevorkian got together. They're trying to work it out.
I
gotta say, the chance of it
myself, but sadly, I'm confined to the first floor, so I just hear him shouting and stepping and shit like that, and that's about it.
The chances of it causing you actual problems are not very high.
No, not very high at all.
The cat agrees.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just the other idiot guards are just terrified of him, or terrified of falling asleep and then waking up to him berating them or some shit. I don't know.
If you do need to get rid of him, you can always just drop him off down at the Krieg.
Might work.
So does your job entail a lot of concentration?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
He carries Zyklon B fucking grenades.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd probably get rid of our rat problem, man.
Is your job located next to the train station?
Actually, the irony of that is there actually is a set of railroad tracks right behind this place, because there's a fucking rail yard that send out all sorts of crazy shit. Because this building is literally one of many of Rahm Emanuel's hoarding piles. So yeah, by train he brings in his garbage, and then by truck he carts it over about 30 feet into the building. And then he rubs his hands together and go, "Yes, Goyim, store my shit now."
The people who you're working for really earn their stripes.
Yeah, they do. They really worked themselves to death for, man. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, Jesus. I mean, we've got fucking camps full of these guys, just trucks and fleets, and damn.
That's so wrong.
Oh, it's so fucked up, but it's so right.
I pissed some bloke off yesterday. It was they said something about they wanted pure homogeny. I said that's no problem. We'll just dig a big hole and dump you all in together.
Nice.
It's funny too because they see the shit constantly on the news. Like they'll constantly have my neighborhood. I'll see it like Lindenhurst man. Police called because Lindenhurst man is flying Nazi flag on his flagpole. It happens in my town constantly. Like I know a few people in this town that bought. I mean, thousands of dollars worth of the stock of Annan flags when they stopped making them. They bought as many as they could.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's not unique to your area. I remember I saw a movie once where a police car was being chased by a bunch of Nazis in Chicago.
Well, actually, my neighborhood.
That actually happened once.
My neighborhood's the hometown.
And that was back when we actually had Marinette Park occupied by Rockwell's group.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cops tried to go and subpoena them, and they goose-stepped them all the way out of the city. They piled into a truck and they just chased the shit out of them.
Yeah, the movie though had a better soundtrack.
I'm sure it was modernized compared to what Rockwell did, but yeah, fucking hysterical.
What I was saying, my neighborhood is actually. I was telling Burnside this earlier. We're actually the one area I think in America, like per capita, most of expatriated Wehrmacht from World War I and World War II moved here. We were actually the home of the Nazi Party in America in the 30s. I showed him a picture of my hometown. It's kind of fucked up. You see them marching in full SS regalia with the flags and everything, stepping down the main street. And basically, this was the home of the Bund in America. A lot of people don't realize that about New York. And we're also the home of the Ku Klux Klan's Northeastern Division. So basically everything northeast of the Mississippi, I forget what the cutoff line is, but it was all organized out of here at one point.
Hey, the First Amendment may not all be unicorns and light, but it is worth it.
Yeah.
You want to know the one funny thing? Speaking of shit like that, the actual neighborhood of Burnside in Chicago actually used to have a chapter of the Ku Klux Klan back in like the 40s.
Oh yeah.
I found out because I wound up running into a guy who seen my patch was like, "Oh, I used to be from the neighborhood." Yeah, and like he told me all these crazy stories about how he was an ex-Klansman before the neighborhood went to shit. And he said, "Yeah, after that, I fucking hung up my tapestry and said, 'Fuck this, I'm done.'"
That was a good move.
Like, Yeah, I was like, oh, good for you, man. He's like, yeah. After that, I figured, yeah, it was all kind of bullshit because it didn't work. And I was like, all right, cool. He's telling me like all sorts of crazy stories, how they literally go around and like fucking trying to out Rockwell, fucking suits and ties, business cards. So, well, we're here with the Burnside chapter of the Ku Klux, and we want to make sure you got all them cook folk gone, done, done out of here, because we that's all our iron workers and all those other unions to be just like us. We want all them jobs. It's all sorts of crazy shit like that, and then that kind of went downhill after the neighborhood went to crap, and then everyone started pointing fingers at each other for the mills closing. So yeah, after that, the guy was like, "Yeah, fuck this. I'm not getting in the stick swinging contest."
Yeah. Well, we got a whole bunch of different sects of skinheads out here because you got the LIHC, which is the Long Island hardcore scene, and one of the big things that's over here is you have the regular skinheads. But a lot of people don't know who aren't familiar with the scene. I was never into it. I got pretty hair, so I never shaved my head. But from what I know about the scene is the ones who are white supremacists, those are the ones who have the white laces. Now, Mickey, you'll appreciate this, is the sect that has the green laces. Those are the ones who were into Celtic culture. Like you'll see a lot of the guys, they'll have the green laces in their boots that like the Dropkick Murphys, or when Flogging Molly, when they'll play like over at Warped Tour.
I have a Dropkick Murphys hockey jersey, a St. Patrick's Day hockey jersey.
I almost bought one of those.
I lost one of my back teeth to the pit at Randall's Island when the Murphys played. It was Cadence to Arms with Scotland the Brave.
Yeah.
Right when the riff dropped, one of the big guys from Boston, I caught a fucking haymaker. And I'm a big boy. I'm 6'2", 250. And when this guy connected, I spun on my freaking heels. The brutal pit. Bar none, and a lot of people won't know this. You'll ever be in, pound for pound, is the mighty Boss Tones.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their fans are fucking brutal. Holy shit.
Ska fans, yes, are crazy.
Yeah. I've been in the pit for Slayer. I've been in the pit for Pantera. I've been in the pit for Anthrax. Let me see. Oh, Christ. I've even been in the pit for Sabbath. And let me tell you, the most brutal pit I've ever been in, hands down. And I've even been in the pit for friggin' the Limp Bizkit up at Woodstock 99. The fucking most brutal pit you're gonna be in, though, is the Boss Tones. Those guys, they're brawlers. It's not even a real pit. You're in there in a fucking barroom brawl.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's weird because it's a barroom brawl with rhythm.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everyone's skanking and punching.
That is this. Yeah, ska fans are crazy.
Oh yeah.
I can't really judge mine because there's so much distance or time between some of them. Because I've been in some, local industrial shows that were pretty harsh, and then I've been to some. I was in KMFDM, I was in 9 Inch Nails, and some other various shows like on the local scene. And some of the local shows are much harsher than the big shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have two kinds of ska fans. You have ones that listen to bands like No Doubt, and you have everybody else who are just insane.
Yeah.
So I got to take off, guys. It was great hanging out with everybody.
Pleasure meeting you.
Hey, likewise, man. Let's see. I have a live stream coming up this Sunday. It's the international live stream. I have a Canadian, a German, and a Scotsman that I will be discussing stuff with. So I will advertise as early as I possibly can for the time.
Okay.
It's going to be an afternoon thing, so I will be advertising for that fairly soon.
Well, if it's gonna be you, a German, and a Scotsman, you guys better be talking about beer and barbecue.
I would hope so.
Seriously,
I'm sure the subject will.
And a Scotsman, that's like the Holy Trinity right there.
Yeah. I'm sure the subject will come up.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you something about the Scots, okay? Because my dad was Scot. Right? My mum was Irish, my dad was Scot. They're actually not particularly, by most Irish. Now, me being half Scot, I'm all right with you. But you take into account they actually came from a clan called the Scott Tie.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they looked fucking east and they said to each other, they said, hey, look, there's a fucking place that's even more cold, wet, and fucking rainy. Let's go there. Yeah, and you get the fucking blackthorn is the national flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how that came about, right? When they were handing out all the flowers, everybody else picked, and they're saying, well, what? We only got these few scragglies left. And the Scotsman turned around, looked at the blackthorn, and says, what about that prickly black fucking shrubbery looking thing out of that blackthorn? You don't want that. We're going to pitch it out. Well, how much you want for it? Oh, nothing. It'd be free. Free, you say? And that's us.
That sounds about
There you
right.
go. Well, you guys take it easy, and I will. I guess I'll try to work on a thumbnail for the stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take it easy.
You too.
Shadowlay.
Shadowlay.
Yeah, Shadowlay, brother. Be good, sir.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you know my great uncle Tom was from Edinburgh, and yeah, and he was God rest his soul. He was so cheap that if there was a light on anywhere in the house, he'd find my Aunt Lucille and he'd go like this. So he'd say, you know, Lou, the wheels are turning, meaning the wheels on the meter outside that reads the electric.
Right.
Yeah, he had a thing like that. He actually used to, my mother told me he would, I don't remember, I was too young, but he would actually go in the refrigerator with like an oven mitt so he wouldn't scald his fingers, and he'd take the light bulb out of the refrigerator.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
So that way when you open the refrigerator, it wouldn't go on, so it didn't cost money.
Listen, my dad was so fucking tight. He'd squeeze a fucking quarter till a booger come out Washington's nose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we used to say about Uncle Tom, he would squeeze a quarter till the eagle screamed.
Right? Fucking bird cluck, yeah, I mean, toy. Yeah, my dad would squeeze a fucking turd out of a buffalo nickel.
In the neighborhood, because you know most of this neighborhood is Irish and German. This is, you know, a lot of people that just say it is like you'll hear a lot of people that say, oh, you know, you're cheap like a Jew. Around here, the saying is, you know, you're cheap like a Scotsman, because you know everyone knows just from it's a known thing. You know, it's a cultural thing.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you ever get the chance to go back there, as you're coming in for landing, be sure to set your clock back about 25 years.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt
it. We're fucking good. Yeah.
I don't doubt it. From my cousins I do talk to, that, you know, who do live over there, and the ones who do go back and forth. Yeah, I've heard it. They said there are, you know, it's a whole different world.
Oh yeah, but it's fucking worth it, man. It's worth it. Listen, if I was allowed to have my guns, I'd fucking go home. I really would.
Yeah. That's one of the criteria on what states I'll live in.
Yeah, I agree. Despite the fact that guns are highly illegal here in Shirakistan, if I get enough Semitic permits and what have you, I can still at least own one. I mean, I've got one for this job, so, you know, it works well enough. But if I had to go to a place where I would not be allowed to have any form of firearms, I wouldn't want to be there to begin with.
Yeah.
Because that's just asking for the Allahu Shank bar, the Allahu Rape bar, the Allahu Car bar, and the Allahu Throw You Off the Roof bar until you Allahu Die bar on a daily basis.
I go down to the fucking village, I go in there with 60 fucking quid, I'd walk out with a 45.
Yeah.
Nice.
Loaded.
Great. With an extra mag.
Yeah.
And a point. Be fucking walking back with a pistol in my pants, blowing the froth off of one.
You gotta admit, the pint is a nice bonus.
Oh, hell yeah.
Listen, man, there's been a picture floating around the internet for quite some time that shows a bunch of my people over there fucking up to their knees in water. They stop at the fucking beer cart they push around. Fucking knee high in water with sandbags. You're always time for a point, mate.
Well, that's true though. It is.
It is.
There's always time for that. No matter what disaster is going on, you got to have some sustenance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have a beer, man.
When a pint's your only man.
Exactly.
There's no need to be uncivilized just because there's a disaster.
Hop off there for a little while. Ugh, I'm gonna go play some Oblivion.
All right, going to the night box.
Yeah, I'll have my phone on me if y'all hit me.
Hey, Pox, before you go, I heard you was wanting to chat with me.
Yeah, I was gonna talk to you and Sharon and Burnside, see if you guys wanted to do a stream on my channel, because these guys all want to go, like now, like at midnight. Shit, this is getting to be too late for me, man. So I'm trying to find any people that might want to stream in the afternoon.
Yeah, depending on the afternoon. If it's later in the week, that's no problem. I do. I have my own wood shop that I work out of. So pretty much like Sunday through Wednesday is my busiest days, but after that it slows down during the end of the week, because who the fuck wants to be running around like a jack off on a fucking Friday, right?
Oh yeah, man. I'll hit you up in the morning about it.
Yeah, no worries, mate. So I haven't scared you off. I haven't scared you off with my fucking rough tongue.
Nah, dude, I'm in Kentucky. I've heard anything you come up with, I've probably heard times worse.
Yeah, I'll definitely still want to give it a go. It's just I just gotta find a time when they're not trying to work me to fucking death over here with these night shifts.
Yeah, this fucking cunt can't even make it to the show that he's on with me.
Yeah, I couldn't make it to the last ones. I couldn't get any fucking sleep, and I tried to get some sleep today. My fucking RLS was keeping me up.
That's no worries, mate. I told you life happens to everybody. You know my
Sucks, dude.
All right, have fun, boys.
All right, have a good night, mate.
All right,
Have
see you
a
around,
good night,
man.
Fox.
Have a good one.
What if he has a good one? What if he wants a longer one?
Well, then he's just going to have to settle.
Well, I think there's a pill for that.
There is, and the military will pay for it too.
Yeah, I know. Thought on that. What exactly? Plain, I didn't get a chance to follow what happened with that story. Do you know what happened?
Which story?
All I had seen was the headline that the military paid for some soldier's operation.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I just know they'll pay for Viagra.
All right. There's a headline. It was either last night or this morning. I forget where, but yeah, they paid for a transgender soldier's operation.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, that's great. Now the benchmark's been set, so yeah, that's what, 600,000 a pop. So
Along with lost time on duty.
Yeah. Good. You know, I was worried that we weren't going to get fucked financially. You know, I'm glad that, you know, at least now it's happened. It's kind of like, you know, like when you let your nephew take the car, waiting, finally he's home, you know, there's a headlight hanging out. Now you just fucking relax. It happened.
It sounds like somebody's getting their sexual torture chamber ready in the background.
That's just my dog. I've got a husky puppy. He's 4 months old and has all the energy in the world.
Puppies. Oh, that's beautiful.
I could use some of that energy about now, man. Fuck,
oh, me too.
I just drank a whole bunch of coffee. I'm so fucking tired. I've had 2 of these stupid ass energy things, and a fucking coffee, and I'm still tired as fuck.
Yeah, that's great, lady. It's a Duraflame log.
My wife would tell you if anything ever happened to her and my boys moved away, odds are pretty good. I'd fucking just take off, move to the mountains, and my only companion would be a fucking dog. Like
don't live 20 stories underground. That's what happened to Hammer.
Yeah.
No, I'd carve my shit on the side of a mountain. I love being out in the fucking wild.
God, that was fucking funny as hell. What's the other way in a concrete block?
Well, Burnside, you finally got me on another program, you fucking prick, you happy? HAPPI.
Yeah, I'm trying to be happy, man. I'm gonna be happy as soon as I get some goddamn sleep and my right leg stops kicking.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I was trying to sleep earlier today after I got off with Scooby and had all that other goat horation going on, and it's just the right leg just wouldn't stop fucking moving.
Yeah. Hey, I threw a link up
for that shit.
I threw a link up in the chat there when I was talking about a pint journey, man. There's a thing around on the telly some years ago over here. You guys wanted to look at that real quick. It's pretty fucking funny, I think.
All right, I gotta look at it after I close out the stream because the computer I'm on is a piece of shit. If I open too many things, my computer will crash.
Fucking lovely.
Well, I got the thing for $200. I ain't gonna complain.
It's doing its job.
Exactly. It's like getting that shit a car when one of the seats is replaced with a lawn chair. Fuck it, as long as it drives.
Both goes down and hit the gas.
We had a friend of ours. He had a BMW that didn't have reverse, so whenever we had to do a 3-point turn, we had to get out and grab onto the door jams and pull the thing.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Oh yeah, it's one of those hoopties with a capital D that was hanging sideways. You gotta love it.
I had the scariest fucking moment of my life once when I bought a car, Monte Carlo off a chap was a 76. I went over a speed bump and the fucking floor collapsed out from underneath it. Next thing I know, I'm riding on the goddamn drive shaft, right?
Oh shit!
I'm glad I was wearing brown pants. It was an intimidator.
Yeah, I've been in a few cars like that. Somebody like there's a joint going around the car, it falls, and the idiot that's sitting shotgun goes to stomp on the thing, and he puts his foot through the fucking floorboard. Yeah, you gotta love those ones.
Like a fucking Pinto, you go up and flick the fucking back bumper and the car explodes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. The worst car I had was I actually had a Cutlass Supreme. It had no brakes. So I wound up trading that for a Mercury Sable that had no transmission. And then later that took a shit, and I got a Honda Accord, that of which had a shitty ground wire that caused the thing to randomly just stop fucking working, and I'd have to restart it several times. And then that died, and it nearly took me with it when a tie rod fucking collapsed on it. And then I got my Sebring. And then ironically, when I was doing a bunch of run around from the same tie rod thing happened, except at a much slower speed, so I didn't nearly die. And then I finally retired that thing a few days ago, and I got the So-On Saab, and I haven't had any major trouble with it at all.
You know, you might be experiencing what's known as the reoccurring calamity effect. Yeah, where the same shit
like
happens to you over and over and over a great period of time. I had that fucking shit with red cars.
That's what my Honda was.
Freaking
my
communist cars.
Red car.
Yeah.
Communist car.
I had the same. I had the same thing actually, except it wasn't red cars. It was Puerto Rican broads.
They're all the fucking same, dude. Puerto Rican.
You got to stop buying these Ladas.
I could not date a Puerto Rican woman. Her ego and mine would just collapse in on each other's egos.
Well, it's not even that. It's going out, dancing in those Latin clubs. I mean, it's kind of like you ever watch the old Warner Brothers cartoons with the wolf and the fox in the hen house.
Yeah.
And he's salivating and he's chasing all the different chickens, and he can't chase one because another one runs the other way, so he turns around and runs that way after that one, and then the other one goes. Yeah, that's me on Latin night club. So it never lasted with them Spanish broads. It just never lasted.
Nice.
I don't speak enough Latin to pull that off.
I don't speak it well enough, and to be honest, this is New York. I mean, I probably speak more Spanish than they do.
I speak Taqueria Spanish. I can go in there and order, and that's about it.
Nice. I don't speak any Spanish.
Sure you do. Carne asada. Carnitas.
The only phrases I know are like from Spain, and that's just all fucking political dogma, and that's really about it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna pick up anybody with that shit, and if I do, I'll be fucking shocked. And
you
then
might
I'll be wondering
you might pull a Catalonian separatist.
Oh God, I could only fucking wish. God, that'd be a dream.
She might have a hat that matches yours.
Oh, I fucking wish, dude. That would be nice.
You'll spot each other from across the bar. She in her hat, you in yours. Your eyes meet.
Show each other your Franco tattoos.
Oh, that would ruin it. And I'd be like, bitch, what the hell are you doing with fucking Franco on your body? Get that shit
Yeah.
off.
Burnside, just some friendly advice, though, man. If your Spanish is anything like the way you were trying to pronounce the Sicilian I was teaching you the other night, just speak English.
No, I passed Spanish with a D, and that was Mexican Spanish. After I started picking up a couple of different phrases here and there, it turns out that my Spain Spanish is a hell of a lot better than my Mexican Spanish, because I can't speak fast enough for the fucking Mexican Spanish, but the Spain Spanish is slower, so I'm able to manage that.
You know what I think is fucking great? Living here, say to Pittsburgh. I love it when people will look at me and go, "Where are you from?" I say, "Pittsburgh, South Side."
Nice.
They look at me like my head just shot out my chest. The fuck do you mean? It's the most recognizable goddamn accent in the fucking world, you twat. Oh my goodness. I flatly refuse to learn Spanish, though, just to be a fucking bastard.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that when I was in the 8th grade, they made me learn it just so I could fucking graduate. The only time I would have ever needed to have learned use Spanish was when I worked as a custodian in Walt Disney World, because every other dumb motherfucker you ran across thought your student fucking college tab that you got on your little ID meant you spoke a different language. And I shit you not, all mine said was Art Institute. That's all it fucking said. It didn't say "Sie habla Español, die sprechen Sie Deutsch." It didn't say any other motherfucking no speaks to Catalonia or nothing. It said Art Institute in fucking English. And all these other sons of bitches, habla Español? No. Habla Español? No. Not habla Español. Motherfucker. No, it means no in both fucking languages. How the fuck do you dumb motherfuckers, you know?
I didn't have to learn a language in school. I lucked out.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Well,
now, my mother insisted on that, though. I don't know if you know anything about traditional Irish families, but they're worse than fucking Jews with that shit. Languages, art, culture, music. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I wasn't even allowed to speak American English in the house with my mum. We had to speak Gaelic.
I was going to say, cool. My mother's parents, that was the thing in their house. They weren't allowed to speak English. They had to only speak Gaelic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded learning Gaelic. That would have been fun.
Oh, shit, I would have picked it over Spanish.
Oh,
my father was a Sicilian, and the dialect he spoke, they didn't teach in public schools. So after they first tried to make me learn Italian, and then they tried to make me learn Spanish, and I did better in Spanish, he filed a complaint, and because he knew somebody who got a clout, I didn't have to take the class because they didn't offer his dialect. So I was able to take it out for a different credit. Yeah, his whole thing was because I was in a bilingual household and they didn't teach our language there, so I didn't have to learn what they were teaching. He was bitching about it. So,
God, I wish I could have gotten away with some shit like that. When I was in 8th grade, it was only Spanish, and then when I got into high school, it was either French or Spanish. And I looked at them and I told them, "Do you see my last name? I will never need to say the words 'I surrender,' so I'm not gonna fucking learn French, you know. I'm not going to go walking around in one of those silly looking freaking hats. I'm not from that country. I don't plan on going to that country because they eat horses and I don't eat horses. My family's known for cavalry, Yeah. We don't believe in eating horses. They're sacred, lovable creatures. They're for taking care of, not eating,
Burnside says, "I will never need to use the phrase, a certain je ne quoi."
What's that mean? I would love to eat your horse.
Means I surrender.
You surrender.
No.
No le frog.
That's literally what I told them, and they just went okay with that. And they tried to offer me Spanish, and I went, do not see my last name? What makes you think I'm gonna be able to pronounce any of that crap? And I asked him, do you have German? No. Do you have Chinese? No. Do you have Japanese? No. We have Spanish and French. I'm not going to need either one of those, for fuck's sake. Find me one motherfucker out here other than those prats over there in the fucking class that speaks fucking Spanish. It's whiter than white over here.
Listen, the fucking Japanese scare me.
Well, they should. Have you seen some of the crap they export?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I did a short stint at a Sony plant near where I used to live at, right? These fucking people, they always, when they speak, they always sound like they're constipated.
They are, though.
Yeah. And they fucking piss in unison.
When you have constipation, you're appropriating Japanese culture.
I made sounds like that when I had a case of screaming shits. But listening to them tell a joke in Japanese is fucking hysterical. I'm just gonna try to approximate what that fucking bastard sounded like. You hear these fucking blokes were like,
They always sound so fascinated and confused.
And they're all laughing like that at the same time, and they stop synchronized. It's fucking eerie.
It's because they're fucking machines, dude. What do you think they make giant Gundams?
I know they put out a lot of fucking perversion.
Fuck yeah.
They thrive on it because they don't give anybody a time to actually have a life, so they have to live out their most extreme perversions through media instead.
Yup.
That would have to be the only answer. Yeah, really. You know?
Yeah, so don't they have a phrase for being worked to death? And that's considered a dignified way to die?
That's China you're thinking of.
Oh.
Yeah, well, they put suicide nets up in China, so fucking cunts here can buy an iPhone.
Yeah, I will never own an iPhone because of that, unless it says "Made in America" on the back of it.
Burnside, you know damn well I've told you flat out. I got a $30 Walmart special.
Yeah.
That is all I will ever fucking buy is a cheap piece of shit.
Yep.
And I don't even like having that one.
Yeah, I like the fucking thing I've got now, and that's probably, until I have to buy something else, is definitely what I'm going to own. I don't plan on buying a fucking iPhone. I already hate the fact that I looked at the back of this thing after I took it apart and it said "Made in China." I went, "Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me."
I personally think that they ought to put the fucking phone booths back up. So if we're going to be forced to pay for shit, why can't we pay for phone booths on every fucking corner? That way you can call whoever for whatever.
Because the crack babies are going to start stealing them again, just like how they did when they used to have them over in my neighborhood. Between the neighborhood of East Side and the neighborhood of Hammond over the border in Indiana, there are a whole bunch of old phone booths that are graffitied, shit on, pissed on, and absolutely ripped the fuck apart because these crack babies would tear them apart and scrap all the parts in them for drug money.
That doesn't fucking surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if we were to front the money to put any of those
up, anywhere but black fucking neighborhoods.
But then
that would
just
solve the problem.
My neighborhood to
mainly because that's where the people have a culture of refusing to get educated. The educated, actual hardworking people of those particular groups actually don't live in those neighborhoods. They avoid them.
Yeah, look, people, there was a time where I really did not go in for the racism shit. But I am a classical philosopher, and the more and more I look at the facts, evidence, and I have to follow where it leads. And I'm just thinking, when they pulled that fucking bullshit with the what they call it, the Great Society shit.
Yeah, with LBJ back in the 60s.
Yeah, his exact words was, "We'll have," and not his words, not mine. "We'll have these niggers voting for us for 100 years."
Yeah, that was the entire point of it. It was to keep them stuck, and it worked.
And now
it's a cultural problem. It's not a racial problem.
Well, they were the beta test.
Yeah.
So what's going on is, but even with that, at this point, there's enough black people out there. The information is out there enough for them to be able to find out themselves. Now the information is available. Being ignorant is not your fault. Staying that fucking way is.
Yeah.
And you got these people so indoctrinated into this shit that literally the statistics are that if you took all of the and I'm just stating this is fact. You take all the black people the hell out of the damn country, you lose 77% of the fucking crime. That's a problem.
A lot of it too is, I've said this for a while, it's not just the environmental thing. I've said that if you look, because when I used to work in the neighborhoods, when I was up in like the really bad parts of the ghetto, when I would go up in the stores, you'd see the food that they'd have in there, and it's all this food coloring and all this salt and sugar and preservatives, and it's shit I would not find in the white stores.
Right.
And I had always said, they're feeding these people straight up poison. They're feeding them this shit. And I said, this is, this makes the kids retarded. It makes people stupid. And, they used to joke, like there was a joke on American Dad. And they had, what's his name? I forget his name. He played Jean-Luc Picard.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Thank you. Yeah, Patrick Stewart. And he says as a joke, they're talking, his character's talking to some other FBI agents. He says, well, a lot of people know that the CIA invented crack to put through the black neighborhoods, but a lot of people don't realize we invented malt liquor. Now, it's said as a joke, but my whole thing was, and, I don't want to sound like a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, and I'm reaching or anything here, but if you remember the movie in '89 with the Tim Burton movie with Michael Keaton, Batman, Nicholson's character, the Joker, he does this thing in the movie where he mixes all the, like if you mix mouthwash, toothpaste, all this shit, you wind up dead on a heart attack with the heart attack on the floor with a Joker grin on your face, right? Now, my thing is, what if they did something similar where in these black neighborhoods and these Spanish neighborhoods, they were pumping this food in there, but, instead of like killing people, giving them this grin, it was to make them stupid.
Well, yeah, make them drain workers. That's what public education's for. Just smart enough to do the job, too fucking stupid to ask a question.
I'm saying the nutrition that they were pumping into these neighborhoods, too. The food
Exactly.
that they were giving these kids.
Listen, here's the thing that I get safe, and it's not you, mate, okay? So don't take this the wrong way.
Oh, no,
this
no,
shit
of
conspiracy theory. Well, what the fuck? That was set up by the CIA to discredit anybody from asking critical fucking questions.
Yeah.
Right. We're sitting here discussing it right now. By fucking definition, that's conspiracy. We're conspiring to understand something. We're conspiring. We sat down and we said, hey, we're going to go down to fucking Mikey's pub down the fucking street. We're conspiring to do something. That's what it is. And it's a theory. It's a possibility. It's a fucking, what do you call it, hypothesis that could be put either tested and then accepted or rejected based on facts and observable empirical evidence. That's all that fucking is.
Yeah, thought exercise is part of being in a free society.
Yeah, that's the entire goddamn point. And I mean, I have a son. My youngest son is autistic. He was completely fucking normal before my wife went behind my back and got the shots for him. You want to know whether or not these fucking vaccines are behind? I don't give two shits what Dr. Dickhead has to say about with his big pharma fucking bank. You go talk to the fucking parents that had the kids that were normal before the shit, and then afterwards they had the problems. I am one.
Same here.
Right?
Oh shit, dude. Fuck.
And I don't mean to get heavy on you guys about that stuff, but that's part of what I'm saying about this. I have there's not one fuck left in me to give.
No, I hear you. Believe me, I hear you.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've gotten brutal. I don't know if you guys. I won't mention it because this isn't my fucking show, you know, and I'm gonna plug it without being told, "Hey, go ahead."
Go
but
ahead.
That's why I go. Well, yeah, Rebels at the Round Table. Then that's why I go so fucking hard after the Jewish shit. That's why I go so fucking hard after these fucking biscuit lip motherfuckers and these liberal lefty fucking Antifa faggot cuck motherfuckers. No more. I've had it fucking. And if you can't see that there's a plan to get rid of white people, you must be fucking Ray Charles. Because you're a blind motherfucker. They come right out and say it.
Yeah, I know. I see it all the time. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. I just, I can't. It's I wish I could articulate it better than just the best way I could describe it is you'd have to see these people in person and just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not everybody. See, in general,
Mm-hmm.
I get along. There's people I do talk to of different race, religion, whatever. Fine, but it's the demographic, the overall portion. Look, that's what stereotyping is. That's what fucking cliche is. The reason that is that way is because it's based in fact.
Oh no, I know. I'm saying I meant if you could see these SJWs because I live in New York and the ones when I see them in person, it's I can't even articulate it.
They're absolutely self-destructively insane.
Yeah, we're like a 500,000 fucking people short of a Class A city in Pittsburgh now, right? So it's going to be as big of a fucking SJW shithole as Philadelphia here in a few years, and I only live 45 minutes south of the joint.
I mean, we have like a parade of them. Well, it's nonstop. I've been saying it like when I first signed up in Mines. I was adamant. I'm like, I will not go into Manhattan unless I'm forced to at this point.
Right.
I still wind up there at least like once a week, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I don't like going to Pittsburgh.
Let me put it to you like this: I went and I cut across town, and it just happened to be, me and this guy were going to the same gyro stand. He actually liked the guy himself too, but I thought he was following me. I got followed for about 5 or 6 blocks by a gentleman dressed as Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Yeah, there's no other way to put it. There's just so much bizarre shit. It makes, I had somebody who was from San Francisco complain to me. They said, your city, we used to be known for, our quirkiness. And they said, your city stole it from us now. Because in the past 4 years, since de Blasio's been mayor, that city's gone completely insane. There are naked people walking around my city now.
What the fuck?
That's just straight degeneracy.
Oh, yeah. That's fucked up, dude.
That's
People
subhuman
need to be
animals.
clothed.
Yeah. I'll find the video. I'll send it to you on YouTube. It's just
yeah.
You can go. It was one day in Central Park. I'm there, and all of a sudden, this naked black chick just walked past me. She was hot too, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And they were having some thing, and it was a bunch of no cops were arresting them or nothing. That's what I was saying. When Six was asking me, when my neighbor across the street was she wearing pasties, I said no, she was wearing a fucking thong and a cape.
Yeah, that's legal in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the shit. Now I got to worry about my nieces. God forbid going into the city, they're gonna have some fucking sick weirdo, wearing a fucking rubber dick on his head, chasing them on a unicycle.
Probably,
Listen, I've been talking to Burnside and a couple other chops about, seeing if now down here you can get a gun fucking just as easy as breathing. What you do is you purchase the gun, you walk into the sheriff's department, you fucking say, I want to get a gun permit, you pass a background check and you fucking have it in your hand. They give you the photo ID on the way out the fucking door. It's still hot from the press.
Nice.
I'm trying to set up like fucking Cantwell's doing up there in New Hampshire. I'm trying to do that here because I live in a nice middle upper class neighborhood. There's a few people of mixed race and everything like that, but overall, I mean, it's pretty much homogeneously white. But even with the Chinese people that live on the corner beside me here, and then the fella down the road here, that his son's half black. I could give a fuck. As long as you're not stirring up shit and, walking around your fucking cock hanging out to, bother these young Chinese girls. They run in the age from 11 to fucking 6. Your fucking degeneracy behind closed doors, you subhuman piece of shit. I'll give you a fucking wooden shampoo, you cunt.
Wooden shampoo.
You're going to use that, aren't you?
Oh, I'll find a joke for that somewhere. Yeah, it's the one thing I'm glad for is that as much as we have these Jagoff Reds going and doing their Sodom Fest every day of the week, they haven't devolved into anything that degenerate. It's just that they're uneducated dumbasses, and they're hired to be absolutely stupid.
Listen, the other thing I'm going to fucking say about this is in one hand, I'm just absolutely fucking gut-wrenching churning over it, just sick. But on the other fucking hand, I'm glad they're doing it because they're playing their hand, showing everybody exactly what the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a bunch of ass clowns. They're uneducated. They're stupid. Like whenever I want to talk to these dumbasses, you know, it's tell them about, you know, fucking country and that and blah blah. Their whole argument is no, humanity first. It's like, motherfucker, do you know how much humanitarian money we waste through the United Nations to help, quote, humanity?
You got to be fucking human in order to get humanitarian aid. So how's about you bring yourself up out of the fucking, you know, quit exercising your junk DNA and become a human.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, if only, but no, they prefer their public sodomy and all that fucking retarded shit, you know. Leap around like a bunch of quaint, dumb, inept chronic masturbators.
These motherfuckers. Look, I'm not playing. I didn't want to kill anybody. I didn't want a fucking war. You know me, Burnside. I'd love to have a peaceful fucking conclusion to this. But like I told you, look at the Catalonia situation. These cocksuckers will never give up without bloodshed. It's what they fucking live for.
Yep.
You want genocide? Remember, that's what you asked for. The aggressor sets the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's what they're looking for.
I've said this before many times, and we don't even have to do any of this genocide shit or anything of that nature. We have all the information now from these people at their Facebooks and their Twitters. We just wait till they're asleep, and we just round them all up and forcibly deport all these sickos to Canada. And all the Canadians who are up there who do not want to be there right now, we rescue those people and bring them down here, and we just put them in. You know, we do a switch.
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds good to me, man. I mean,
get them fucking them poor white South Africans the fuck out of there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those poor bastards.
I literally read a fucking article that had me say fucked off. I wanted to punch my screen. I watched one where they were told, the family was told they couldn't get a fucking a permit to leave the fucking country because they were too racist in their fucking views. Because being hacked up with a fucking machete by a bunch of fucking chimp out niggers.
Oh yeah, it's because what's going on over there is the same thing as the goddamn Rwandan genocide.
These niggers want to wipe out white people, and you want to get the fuck out of Dodge. So you're racist for not wanting to die by the hands of a fucking some fucking coon that wants to hack you and fuck your wife and then stab your kids in the eyes. Thanks a lot, shithead.
Yeah, they're literally doing over there is the same as the fucking Rwandan genocide with the Tutsis and all that shit. Yeah, they just for whatever reason don't fucking like them, and then they voted, okay, it's perfectly humane to murder them just because there's more of us than there are of them, and we don't like them for just dumb racist ass reasons.
You know,
and then there's the other people that wind up giving birth to these albinos. You know, they're pale as hell, but they're actually physiologically African. And they get abducted in the middle of the night by witch doctors and butchered for like goofy ass fucking serums and weird shit like that.
Right.
It's crazy as hell in backwater.
But that's
and these people are trying to get out of the country.
That's enriching the culture, man.
Yeah, enriching it, my ass. But yeah, that ironically they use that excuse for everything.
That's what we need to do. Yeah, it's been said by a number of people, and I keep repeating it too, that, it's a funny thing. White people are incredibly well disciplined when it comes to martial pursuits. And we're really, really nice until we're fucking not.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's another guy I talked to on the Rebels at the Round Table, and he made a great point. I think it was after show. That he said, phase 1 is getting people to realize what the problem is. Phase 2 is when you start to dehumanize them. That's what you're starting to see, lads.
No, we're not just starting. We've been seeing it for years.
Yeah,
it's finally getting publicity.
Yeah, we're starting to
just not necessarily the kind it needs to get.
This is the kind of fucking shit, and I don't really want to go there, man. I don't. You're right, Plan. But it's to the point now where we're like a fucking cunt hair from stage 3.
Yeah, it's not that far off, man.
I really don't want to have to do this shit again.
Yeah, like you were saying, it might wind up turning out like fucking, the damn TV show you're just mentioning, fucking Walking Dead. Yeah, where it's like literally us versus those fucking retards. You know, and they'll be sitting there with us all duct taped up and stuff, and they go, "You're a white male," and just bash the motherfucker's head in. You know, because he's, you know, too Caucasian to be Caucasian, you know?
Jesus.
I'm telling you, mate, I'm going to have a Vlad Tepish fucking yard decorations all the way around my property.
Hell, go for it, man. If
like
anything...
my Celtic... I'm a fucking Celt to the bone. I even have the Pictish gene strain. I did that fucking DNA test shit, right? And I have the Pict strain. Which
That's
is
awesome, dude.
Old, right? And I said, well, fuck it, you know. Maybe I'll just carve out niches around my doors and start putting the fucking skulls of vanquished enemies in it like my people used to do.
Dude, that'd be
Get
awesome.
with your culture, man.
What's up, bro?
I say get down with your culture, man.
Oh, yeah, man. 100% Kev.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
my mother can trace our heritage back to O'Sullivan's March.
Holy fuck, no shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's an O'Sullivan from the Cork O'Sullivans.
God damn. Yeah,
Burnside didn't tell you. My grandfather was he was one of the teenage runners for the war for the uprising in 1916, and he fought in the war for independence.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, if you want, after the stream, I'll show you. I got it around here somewhere. I showed it to Ajax like a month or so ago. I got a picture of my grandfather with the president of Ireland back in like 1920.
That's fucking tits. Yeah, Ajax. Do you pronounce it Ajax or Ajax?
In Greek, it's Ajax.
That's what I thought. I didn't know which way you pronounced it there.
Nobody else can pronounce it Ajax, so I just run with Ajax.
All right.
I didn't even know that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, but I'll just call you Ajax. I'm used to calling you Ajax all the damn time.
Do you pronounce it Ajax or Ajax?
For you, I pronounce it Ajax. I usually pronounce it Ajax, but I don't want to actually confuse everybody that doesn't understand in the middle of a stream. So,
fuck them. Let them figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'll do that from now on.
Lol. Yeah, we'll all get in touch with our roots and shit like that. Mickey will start getting all this picked shit together. IS will be sitting over here starting to get the phalanx going. I'll start running the fucking shovels for the trenches and shit, and we'll be all fucking situated.
Oh, believe me,
your name is Toby.
When I went back in June and July, I showed you guys on Discord that Crusader flag, right?
Oh yeah, that was awesome as hell, man.
Well, about maybe 3 miles from that village is another village. I've never shown anybody the pictures, but there's a mausoleum of the villagers that were slaughtered by the Turks. The problem is the Turks dismembered all 300 villagers, men, women, children. And they intentionally, because we're Greek Orthodox, there's a certain rite that we have to go through for burial. They intentionally mixed up all the bodies in pits, so we can never bury them right.
Dirty bastards.
That's about as evil as you can fucking get. So they built an open mausoleum for them. I'll show you guys the pictures on Discord one of these days. But honestly, my daughters just fell apart when they saw it.
Wow.
Yep, nothing like that cultural enrichment of Allahu Butcher Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'll have to take some pictures. I have the Celtic moon style sword. It's battle ready. I put some fucking shekels into that shit.
Nice.
Got a nice axe that I did up. I put the OWAM glyphs up it. I'm working on doing some acid etching into the blade itself and modifying it. I've got a spear, the whole 9 yards. I want to get a good Celtic shield.
Nice. The one thing I want to get my hands on, if possible, I seen this a while ago. Some dude was selling actual Viking swords. If possible, one of these days I want to get an Ulfbert.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Those are practically indestructible, man. It's fucking just as rough and tough as a katana, except shorter and swifter.
See, that's a misconception, mate. Katanas aren't that fucking hard.
Mm-mm.
They just hold an edge pretty well.
Yeah.
They're not. I personally am not that impressed by the pecking things.
I think the technique was ahead of its time for, a lot of different purposes, but overall it's not up to standard at this point.
No.
Yeah,
The thing
they
is,
have
anything but
lost a
another
bit.
katana, it's going to shatter at the hilt.
Right. It's not designed to go against anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, since I was
No,
a
they're
boy,
designed for clean cut.
Ever since I was a boy, when I would, meet up with my cousins, one of the things we did, and this is on my father's side, it's been a tradition, with these people for thousands of years. They screw around. They had the wooden things, the gladius.
Mm-hmm.
And, I used to, fuck around with one of those. And I would always tell my friends, because, when I got older, I used to screw around with Kujitsu because we had a dojo around here. And I learned a little bit of swordsmanship. But pound for pound, I'll take a Roman gladius any day over a katana.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Gladius is designed to be a tough motherfucking sword.
Yeah.
Well, the gladius design was actually borrowed from the Celtic sword.
Yeah.
They flattened the blade out and made it sharper for stabbing through. But believe you me, that Celtic sword is just as good at stabbing as the gladius. We didn't wear armor. That's our fucking problem.
Or pants.
Yeah.
Or pants.
Or pants. Listen, man.
To be fair, the Romans didn't either.
If somebody comes running at you with their fucking hog hanging out.
I'm just saying, by the time you're in that cold weather, it's going to be a little troublesome.
You don't know.
It's not about anything else.
Yeah. That's definitely got to have some shock value to it. You just come running out in your fucking birthday suit with an axe and a sword.
Well, what we used to do is my people used to actually attack you at night when the moon was out. That wood blue would kind of fluoresce like a black light. And it threw them off.
Yeah.
Because they see what they thought was white. These white figures with these glowing blue lines. They thought it was magic.
Interesting.
See, I did a little bit of wooden training for swords when I was a kid, but I ended up doing a lot more staff because I thought that was more likely what I was going to have at hand, something along those lines.
Nice.
Staff is not a bad idea, but keep in mind, I mean, any sword work you do, you could also use as a fucking ball bat.
Right.
Indeed.
A stick, a wrench, whatever.
Yeah, it's just a different approach than something you can actually stab with. You have to keep in mind what you're planning on as you develop your reflexes.
True enough.
Because if you're not going to be something you can really stab with, you'll be able to jab them pretty good, but it won't have the same effect that you were really hoping for when you thought of learning the move.
Yeah. Well, that's true. But jam them under the fucking sternum, they'll stop quick.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
That'll give them a nice whack to the temple.
Well, we got into, and I'm probably not going to pronounce it properly, but what we got into when I got into like high school, because my boy was actually he was a practitioner. We got into eskrima sticks, or eskrima. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but it's basically two staffs and they're about 2 foot long a piece. It's a Filipino thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a Filipino martial art.
Yeah. And we got heavy into that because my boy, he's out in Seattle now. He's actually, we used to joke when Family Guy came out with that we used to torture him because he's actually like a trained ninja. He's ex-Navy. But we got into that, and I tell everybody, if you're going to learn anything, pound for pound, just learn that because that is something you'll use. You use it with both hands. It's a really good art to learn. You basically just take the 2 sticks and beat the fuck out of somebody with them.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Basically, what you're learning.
Yeah, I got another one of the lady on our show. I got her going, got her started to study personal defense. It wasn't me that got her into the idea of buying the revolver. She got the revolver herself. But I told her, I said, that revolver's lovely, but what if you got more than 5 papers?
Yeah.
Get a compact with a double stack in it next to mag. Now you got something going on. No, that revolver's lovely for home defense, say. People say aim for the trunk. I aim for the lower trunk. I'm going to blow their fucking bollocks off for having the balls to come in my house in the first place.
Yeah. Well, my thing was always, you can't get them in New York no more, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But I always wanted to get like the non-lethal rounds if I had a piece up in the house, because you come up in my house, I want to know who the fuck sent you. It's just the way I think, though.
Yeah. We might have to talk later then. Steve.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know what ammunitions are legal here over in the city. Cause wait, that's right, none are, because I have to literally go to the fucking boonies to buy a gun, let alone ammunition.
Burnside, I keep telling you, mate, you need to move over this way.
I'm considering it. If I lose the battle over here, I may as fucking well, man. I mean, at least I'll have a better source of employment. I mean, fuck. I'm really sick of these night shifts after today, man. The fucking... I don't know why these other lazy fucking Negroids or whatever the fuck they are don't want to do this night shift. Every day I've worked is the same fucking shift, and it's killing me. I sleep for 4 hours. I get up. I eat something because I'm fucking starving because I'm too tired to eat something in the morning. I dick around for about 3 or 4 hours, and I go and sleep for 2 hours, and then I have an 8-hour shift to trying to fucking stay awake.
I feel you, mate. I used to do the third shift shit. I actually like third shift, but
I liked it, but it's just that it's every day. I can't do it every fucking day. That's the only shift they'll give me because I'm the only person that doesn't bitch about it.
Maybe you need a bitch.
About it?
Yeah, right now I am because I'm just fucking. It's finally wearing on me.
You got to bitch to someone that has a say in the matter. Bitching dust does you nothing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll go have a fucking talk with them. See what they can fucking do.
Well, as long as you got a plan, that's all that matters.
I got a plan. There's another position that's opened up. I don't know if it's at this building, but there's another guardsman position open. Pays double of what I'm making right now. So fucking Sunday, Monday, go fill out for that. And then when I come back to work and I see him in the morning, I go, hey, fill out the application and all that, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, shit. I'll tell you what, man. You chops in the fucking city. I feel for you, man. I do. Because I'm actually teaching a class on Sunday on escape and evasion techniques and how to put together a small kit. Lays less than the fucking tenth of a pound. We can get you out of this fucking Riverton. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you guys are going to do that when the whole goddamn opera falls apart.
I'm going to wait and see how many of my neighbors kill each other.
Yeah, I know where there's a few preppers around here already. I just plan on robbing them. That's my prepping.
You just gotta be careful with that shit, mate, because they've already thought about people coming to rob them.
Oh, I know that.
You might want to offer up, hey, I got these skills, I got this, I got that, I can do this.
Yeah. Most of the preppers you'll run into, they already have an extra setup or two for people like you.
Right.
Oh no, I know.
They'd rather have you on their side.
No, I know that. I'm not an idiot either. That's why, you recruit about a busload of people and you send them in first.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what mercenaries are for. If they die first, you don't have to pay them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep. No, I know a bunch of crackheads in the neighborhood too. All I got to tell them is, listen, all you got to do is go in there, go in there, I'll give you each a 50 rock.
Yeah.
That'll work.
You might have to give one out.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the one that you have a piece on yourself. That's that's the one that you actually shoot.
I didn't say what you actually offered.
Oh, all right, yeah. Say the one that actually comes back. It's cool, but I actually got through everything. It took me a while. Everyone else is dead, but I got in there. Yeah. Oh, quick! What's that? Turn around, quick! What behind you? Yeah, bang.
Yep. Done.
No, God, if it came down to that, I'm not living like that. Fuck it.
Oh, I'm not either.
Yeah.
No, the guys and I got a plan. We're gonna see how well it goes, and that's basically about it. But for a good portion of the neighborhood, I'm just gonna watch them kill each other.
That's
Yeah,
what
no,
I'm.
if it ever comes down to it, there's like some apocalypse shit, I'm just gonna get on a boat and go out into the bay and just wait for it all to burn. Fuck it.
Yeah, I would just whatever fuel I got, I'd take it and go out in the wilderness and just make a place.
You're better off.
We'll see how we do.
I'm not saying it'd work, but it'd be better than fighting it out.
Oh yeah.
Me and my group down here, mate, we got a pretty good fucking plan. There's the resources around here are fucking ridiculous, and I have every intention of becoming an overlord if necessary.
Nice.
Shouldn't be too hard. People like to follow.
They do too.
Yep.
Yeah, my brother and I were talking about it one day, and I just said, some fucking cunt, we're having the meetings or whatever. And well, since you fucking cunts didn't want to prep and didn't want to listen when I was trying to talk to you, you're going to do every goddamn thing I have to say. And the moment one of these fuckers opens their mouth and cocks off, they're getting shot in the back of the head. And I'm like, nah, anybody else?
See, I wouldn't even have to go quite that far. I would just, find a handful of decent people. Say, okay, well, I've got a plan. I was a fireman and I'm an Eagle Scout. Oh, you're a Marine? Great. You want to help?
That's what I've been doing.
And then I don't even have to do it. Then the Marine can do it.
That's it too. I've got 2-3 other guys that are already willing to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't take that much if you have an actual legitimate plan to get good people to follow.
Yeah, we've got about
we've
got between 8 and 12 things here.
We just got to get a couple more handy people, and that's about it.
That's a nice start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah.
We just need a couple more organized people. Like I'm basically the demo man.
Yeah, because the thing is, I legitimately do want to help if people want to actually be helped. And that helps a lot.
Doing that either. I just expect everyone to be killing each other because we're stupid people normally. The rest of these.
Well, I expect a certain amount of that, but I think I'm far enough out that I don't have to worry about that being the initial.
Yeah,
if I were in the city, it'd be different.
Yeah, for the first 3-4 days, I'm not worried about fuck all. By the time it starts sinking into the 4th to the 6th day, I'm gonna be like, well, here's, if you're willing to listen now, here's what we can do to acquire some resources to help out.
Yeah, exactly.
Then, after that gets in, all right, now what we're gonna have, now we know people are in full on shithead mode. Let's go over here. We'll get, since nobody's here anymore, we'll take these things, use these resources, do this, and this, and we're gonna secure our area, and we're gonna start, what do you call it? Scrounging for resources or appropriating them and everything else.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's what you do, because the first few days it's not worth getting into anything. You're more likely to bug in than bug out.
Yeah, I plan on waiting a good solid month in my area before going around to go and check everything, because 80% of the people, they'll just fucking kill each other. They'll just fucking kill each other. They'll be raping, killing, eating dogs and cats and each other and shit like that.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
See, if some major disaster happened and everything broke down, my thought is that I wouldn't even have to leave the house. I would just stay there for probably the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't need electricity to get by in my house. I don't need to go get food. Plenty of people in my neighborhood I know have food. I've got food. I don't have to worry about that. What I do have to do is just keep an eye on the situation around me, because communications will be down.
Right.
So, just keeping an eye on it, make sure everything is safe, secure, stay in place, and, if resources show up, great. If resources don't show up, that's fine too. You have to go case by case, though, and have a general idea. Having too specific of a plan means you're going to have something go wrong and you won't know what to do, because people who plan that stringently, they're screwed no matter what they do, because they just
you want to know
can't
about
think on their feet.
I'll let you all know a little secret. As a former New York State employee, why do you think so many celebrities, so many politicians live specifically on Long Island, not Manhattan? Long Island, Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, Suffolk.
I've got an idea where you're leading this, but go ahead.
All right. Well, that basically one of the plans is, if anything happens, they just close all the bridges and tunnels.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was a fireman for 7 years. That's just isolating that kind of thing is right at the top of the playbook.
It's standard procedure. That's what they planned on doing for Dalton.
Even in Die Hard, that's what they did was shut everything off.
Well, well, my point is that's part of the reason that I never bothered prepping. Like, I would talk to people around the neighborhood, and they're like, Scoop, you gonna prep? I'm like, nah. Well, why not? I said, okay, if anything breaks out in the continental U.S., you know what happens? I said, everyone just comes home. I said, they just close all the bridges and tunnels.
Yeah.
I said, we'll all be safe. I said, it's going to suck for the rest of the country. I said, but we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Look at it. And I know I'm not wrong, and I hate saying that, but that's exactly what they'll do. These liberal assholes will save their ass, and I just happen to be in the location that they picked to save themselves.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Well, we're out right now. We're far enough out from the city where the roving bands will have to really struggle to get here. On top of the fact that I could walk less than a half a mile and be right up against the Monongahela River. So I got water plenty, and it rains here fine. We're on top of the fucking hill.
Yeah.
I can stand on my roof and see for a hell of a distance. The little place I live in, the village I live in, it'd be nothing to wall that fucker off.
Yeah.
And bullets go further downhill than uphill, so good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only immediate problem with my area is that it's urban. Walling it off would be easy enough. Just go to
that's why you're in such a predicament if this happens. I'm not in an urban spot. I'm far enough out that if something did go down, I don't have to worry about the kind of problems you'll have in an urban area.
Yeah,
we actually have a neighborhood where I actually believe in that situation. It would remain neighborly.
A few of my neighbors would, but most of them, good 80%.
The thing is, it's not your neighbors that'll be a problem in an urban area. It's the people that'll come in from the surrounding areas.
Yeah, well, look at the fucking area I live in. I've got Dalton.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
South Shore. I've got the east side of Hammond. I've got crack babies in every which single direction. And so what's happened is they're all gonna their monkey instincts are gonna kick in, and they're gonna go chase the rest of us bananas, and we're gonna have to go and pull the fucking. We're gonna have to go pull the train carts to try and wall them off and quickly take all the scrap from the scrap yards and just quick weld some barricades and shit and hope they don't get smart enough to crawl underneath them.
Well, did you ever stop to think about just using like fucking street signs and trash bins and filling them with bricks and shit like that as bulletproof barriers? It'd be too heavy to push.
We need a lot of those. We need a lot.
Yeah, but you're throwing words like welding around when you can't count on power.
Rudimentary. What most likely happen is we'll go fucking set the train carts up, take just a fucking corrugated metal, whatever, and a bunch of fucking big ass nails and just fucking nail it, and then that'd be about it. And just pot shut them as they try and crawl over or crawl under or what have you. Because I could save a good chunk of my neighborhood just by using train carts alone.
Yeah.
And then just taking whatever junk we have, because we've got like 2-3 major scrap yards right in my immediate area. I've got plenty of natural resources. It's just the crack babies are gonna come and fucking hoop and holler and try and pull all their shit, and then the PD's gonna be stretched fucking thin. That's a guarantee.
Oh, the PD's not gonna be there.
The PD's gonna bug the fuck out too.
Yeah,
they're gonna be coming with their guns to take your resources so they can live.
Yeah, basically what they're going to do is they'll be on duty until they realize that they're not going to ever get off duty, and then they're going to go off duty permanently.
Yeah, and they're going to have that's the thing is the surrounding areas I'm in, they're normally always around because they're shit neighborhoods. So when it happens, there's a good 40-50% chance a good chunk of them will be on duty when this happens.
Right.
And they'll either have to pull out or they'll get fucking stuck there until they run out of ammo and get mauled. So they're going to be, if they can't buy us enough time, then, we're pretty much screwed unless, we fucking go, oh, yeah, here's this fucking trains from Hammond and all this other areas. You clink.
Listen,
you're working off the assumption that they're going to stay in uniform when they do that. They're not going to.
Sweeper came in and left. Look, as a guy that actually teaches this professionally for a living, I would recommend that you actually go to the scrapyard and set the barriers up there. The amount of resources you're going to have there are going to be fucking a hell of a lot more. If you can get enough people to go in there and take food and ways to get water and able to purify water and such, you're going to have a hell of a lot more of a protective base by putting all that scrap metal up to the wall. You'll probably have generators there. So if somebody, and I guarantee somebody at the scrapyard can fucking weld.
Yeah.
Use
Now
that
you're
while
near.
you
You
can.
say you're near a train facility. The other option you have is, do you have an intermodal yard over there?
That's another good question.
Because a container yard is going to be a whole lot better than even the scrap yard.
South of him, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Because the container yard, you're going to be able to wall that off really easily. And for another, it's going to be a maze for anyone that wants to get in. It's going to be a whole lot easier to secure than a bunch of train cars in a yard.
Honestly, you'd probably be in your situation, Burnside. You'd probably be better off making it to Burnham Harbor, stealing a sailboat, and heading north.
Yeah.
Oh, if I need to steal
you're
a boat,
that
I
close
got a
to
couple
that,
places where I could go get one of those from. I just got to get past 100th Street, and then I'm golden. I mean, the old places I used to do security at, all the old guards still work there. So if we really need to, I could go get a boat. I just got to have someone help me fucking navigate. That's all.
If you can make it to the Wisconsin-Illinois border, you're set.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The biggest enemy you would have in a collapse, and like I said, I don't live in a dense enough area for this to be an issue, and I did that on purpose because I really don't need to prep for a zombie apocalypse like you're going to get in an actual city, because I think that's just the stupidity that would happen. I don't think that would happen here, so I'm not even preparing for that scenario. I'd just
I
bug in
regretfully
until
have to plan
it
for
settles
that
down.
because it's just
But basically the biggest enemy anyone will have is population density.
Oh yeah, I've got tons of that.
Well, yeah, the resources go that much quicker,
and the people are just that much stupider because you have you have the density, nowhere to escape to, and it doesn't take that much in that small of an area for a small number of stupid people, and there's already a lot of stupid people to turn the rest of the people potentially into stupid people.
Yeah, we've got 3 ghettos in the immediate area, and then to boot, we've also got the Hammond Casino right in the next neighborhood.
Okay, but here's another thought, Burnside. Keep this in mind, too. If you have to get the fuck out of your building, go to a library. There's not one record of it. Any fucking, not in Jersey when the power is out, not during Katrina when that happened, not in Florida. No fucking library has ever been recorded as being looted.
Yeah,
you have resources in the library.
I got a couple decent libraries to go hide in, actually.
You
I got
fucking
one
hide
right
there.
in town where I used to fucking cover all the graffiti at, and then there's another one in the next neighborhood over.
Right? And then you also know these assholes go after the fucking Walmarts, the Sam's Clubs, your big fucking box stores. Not this motherfucker. I'm going to Dollar Trees. I'm going to fucking food pet stores. Small mom and pop fucking hardware stores. I'm not going anywhere fucking huge. And if I can somehow secure a diesel car, because it'll run on fucking anything.
I've got one.
I'm gonna fucking take my ass to the warehouses where they store this shit, food kitchens, churches, any place with resources like that. I'm not going to the same fucking places the rest of these fucking retards are going.
Yeah.
No.
And the thing is, a lot of the things you can do is second string hits, if it really comes down to resources, because they'll go in and they'll steal all the liquor and beer and cigarettes out of the gas station, but you'll still be able to find food that they didn't take that is not actual food.
Yeah.
People look at, that place is turned over and walk past it, but there's still plenty of canned goods and stuff in there that'll get you by.
Yeah, that's true. That's the one good thing about the Family Dollar I used to work at. We've got lots of miscellaneous things of food. If I really needed to get enough stuff in a quickie, aside from what the guys and I've got stored, I'll just raid all the fucking Friskies we get all the time. We've got plenty of fucking cat food and dog food in the fucking back area because for whatever reason the fucking Family Dollar Inc. just sends you ass tons of 2 things: paper products and pet food. So 2 things you will almost always have overstock of. So, unless like the entire town of fucking elderly Pollocks and the Kringleberries decide they're going to raid Family Dollar at the same time, at least be able to smuggle a few things.
Grab a couple gas siphons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Keep in mind, Read the back. Go read your fucking can of soup off the like a Campbell's can of soup, and then go grab yourself a can of Fancy Feast and read the back of it and see which one's better for you anyway.
Yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned the pet food first and foremost. Yes, if I sprinkle some spices in with that, yeah, no one's gonna really know the difference, and it's gonna be much healthier anyways. Especially with these crazy old Polish people over here who treat their pets better than they treat themselves. I don't know what that is about the Polish, but they fucking love to take care of stray animals.
Hey, listen, right now, I love the Polish people, the way they're telling the muzzies to fuck off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing,
I
by
love
the way, food-wise, it is food service. And, you know, it's a pain in the butt to carry the big cans, so people will leave that alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you go into a school cafeteria or, you know, a lower grade restaurant that, you know, isn't big enough to have their own frozen crap, there's going to be number 10 cans of everything. People might go in there and take some stuff,
in my area.
But there's a lot of stuff that they'll just leave behind, like a big number 10 can of like tomato sauce or number 10 can of beans or whatever. They're not going to want to haul that. They're going to see that as a low value target.
Just make sure you get.
I'm not saying it'll definitely be there, but it's.
Yeah, I've got the area I'm in. It's rich in resources. The only thing is, it's also rich in dumbasses.
Right, and that's why these resources will still be there.
Yeah, I've got to wait out for about 2-3 months for the rest of the McCringleberries and Donkey Teeth to kill each other. And once the Cajon tribe finally keels over and dies from lack of burritos and diet pop, then I could probably, make an actual reconquista of the old neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, also, keep in mind, you're in Chicago. You won't be able to, really legally be able to defend yourself in any way. But once this is going on, you'll be able to pick them up off the street.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There'll be more bodies anywhere there'll be more bodies everywhere than I could ever have imagined on the most stringent of gun control laws that could be possibly passed in a Marxist manner.
Yeah, and instead they'll be lying around on the ground because there's no way that the quantity that are going to flood in to the city are going to be picked up by everyone that shoots somebody.
Right.
Oh yeah,
and also this
they're going to be all
if you're stuck there for over a month, that's when you go back to the hospital with your cans and siphon and you start funneling the fucking diesel out of the fucking gas stations, because over 86% of vehicles in the United States is a fucking gasoline, not diesel. You fill up the generator in the basement because the hospital has beds. It has a security room with cameras. You can fill that fucker up and run that bitch all day long. You have
the only thing that sucks is the closest hospital to my area. You got to go through Donkey Teeth Incorporated to get there, man.
They won't be
but how many people are going to be left there?
They won't be there, man. No fucking.
Nobody's going to be there.
They'll be about.
They'll be squatting in Rahm Emanuel's mansion.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally shitting on his floor.
Yeah. Having contests
the problem
about
is it's over in Hammond. That's the only thing is where I'm at in Chicago. I'm so close to the border of Indiana. There's no hospitals in the city limit near where we're at.
Also, don't forget taxi cab services, because they got radios for communications.
Yeah.
We don't have any nearby. Indiana has like some type of taboo thing about not liking any form of cab services. So the only thing I'd potentially have is I'd run across looted vehicles that have Uber stickers and Lyft stickers. There's no cab service.
Those don't have anything that'll still work. Cell towers will be down. Those people don't have radios.
But when you're in their library, you can get generally they keep fucking records of all kinds of things like sewer maps, street maps, shit like that. Your resource.
Oh, they've got tons of maps over at the libraries nearby.
If
the Vodak library ain't got anything, the Hegwish library will have plenty of things.
Even most elementary schools have a set of walkie-talkies lying around.
Yep.
Henry Clay might have a couple. It depends.
Also, if you can't get to a hospital, you're in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
You guys have Catholic cathedrals, correct?
Oh, I've got a whole bunch all over the area.
Yeah, they usually have their own little shindig down in the basement themselves.
Yeah.
That figures.
Yeah. So more likely than not, just head to a cathedral. Because they're going to be too busy looting what's upstairs to even
To not
bother
go
looking
downstairs,
for
yeah.
And you can just lock and secure the secure doors anyway. Because more likely than not, this is the 21st century. If shit does hit the fan, and it's a cathedral, the bishop will have been gone well before anything. So that's going to be an abandoned.
Well,
yeah.
fucking gone.
Yeah, the only way any of the deacons or beacons or anything like them are going to be laying around in my neighborhood is the few ex-military guys that are in my area and the old diehard Polacks. They'll probably stick around.
Yeah, those are the priests. I'm talking about the bishops, the guys who are dressed like Liberace. They got to be gone.
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah, they
think
won't
we
be anywhere
have
near.
any.
Well, not unless they have to be for a ceremony.
Yeah,
They're not going to be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not. They're like in the cathedral. They're going to be gone. The Monsignor, he's going to leave. No one's going to be there. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't go to like you can't go to like the wooden church on the corner. You can't go to like Our Lady of Guadalupe. You got to go to like a really nice cathedral somewhere in your city, like something really big, like how we have here St. Patrick's.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, we've got a few of those downtown, but those are going to be burnt to the ground, if anything, because the fucking commies are going to get to them and just burn them.
That's fine. What you need is underground.
That's fine. You're after the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, there'd be a lot of killing to get through to get to there.
Not after a month. People take care of that for you.
Yeah, your biggest problem straight away, Burnside, is staying alive for the 30 to 45 days it's going to take for them to weed themselves the fuck out.
Yeah, because the second transportation into a city stops, the city clears.
Yeah.
You're gonna have corpses sitting on fucking bridges trying to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Oh God,
yeah. You're gonna have a completely open path. I mean, it might be like right now it might be 20 minutes drive because of traffic. Right now it'd probably be like find a bicycle, get there in 5 minutes because you're not gonna have traffic, you're not gonna have people, you're not gonna have obstacles. That's why I'm talking about resources that people will neglect.
Right.
And granted, I'm really still hoping this will never happen in our lifetime. I know it's very likely that it will, but I'm just thinking, what resources will people leave alone? What resources will people not think of? And what resources will still be of use to you after a month of no refrigeration?
Right. Yeah, you got to start looking at everything through the lens of who's a threat, what's a threat, what resources are laying about. I mean, fuck's sake, you take all these like skids in a back alley, like your pallets, you stack 3-4 of them up, you get a shitload of cardboard, you lay them down there, you make yourself a pillow, you get like a big fucking refrigerator box, you find some plastic, you make yourself a super shelter. The long wave radiation goes in from a fire, the shortwave radiation bounces off, you're nice and nice and cozy underneath some plastic and cardboard, so you're rain proof, and you got a little fire in front of you, banked off so nobody sees it. You're fucking Freddy's your uncle, Franny's your aunt all fucking night. You can get up, move the fuck along with rest, because that's a weapon.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, the hardest part is going to be having the patience not to go before it's time, because you don't need to kill people, you don't need to fight people. All you need to do is lay low.
That's escape and evasion, mate. That's what I'm talking about this week.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I'm saying. Is people are very quick to think, oh, what's my weapon in a zombie apocalypse? Your weapon doesn't matter. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with your survival. In fact, it's probably going to hurt you if you actually think in terms immediately of what am I going to use to fight them. What your objective is to figure out where can I lay low, where can I survive long enough for the worst of it to pass, and then what do I do?
Right, like if you're living in a house, make it look like the fucker's already been looted. Take clothes outside, throw it in the fucking yard, break a couple windows, board up a room or two, lock yourself in it. Make sure you got a decent view so you can look out multiple ways, and if they are coming towards the house, have that fucker baby trap, mate. Make it quick, quiet, and efficient, and get it the fuck over with.
Right.
My firearm is a last ditch defense when they're fucking barbarians at the goddamn gate.
Mine's not even on the list. It's more of a it's one of the things I have in the house, not it's a specific tool for that.
Right.
My plan is entirely based on what do I need to survive. anything else is an afterthought, because it's honestly going to be a whole lot harder to, manage resources than it is to actually deal with people that are, already starving and having a hard day and, malnourished.
Right. Where I'm in a suburban area, the firearm's going to be slightly higher on the list just in case somebody does confront you. But overall, it's a hell of a lot lower on the fucking list than most people want to go to. They want to fucking Mel Gibson the motherfucker, like.
Right. They think it's going to be Mad Max right off the bat. And that takes time to achieve.
Oh, I know what's going to happen around me.
I'm ready if it happens, but I really, my biggest plan is still food. My biggest plan is still, how do I keep warm? My biggest plan is still, how do I maintain shelter and avoid.
You guys are actually going to have it easier than me, because when this shit goes down, what's going to happen around me? Where I live is going to turn into a fucking horror movie. And what I mean,
you're going to be an Escape from New York.
Well, no, it's going to be even worse, because think about it. My neighbor, what's going to happen here is the rest of the country. Let's say this, God forbid, there's some sort of an outbreak or something out like in the continental U.S. and I'm on Long Island, right? So it's not happening here. What's going to happen here is it's going to turn into like some Hunger Games shit. That's what's going to happen. They're going to, you guys will be over there, fighting off whatever the fuck is going on. Everyone's trying to survive, and over here they're going to turn it into like some weird, fucking horrific. I can see it now. Like the elites are gonna like have like their bread and circuses and have all the poor people fighting in coliseums and shit.
Well, for the first few days, it's going to look like Boston after the marathon bombing. Even if it's not even related to where you are, that's what you're going to get, because that's what they're going to do to your entire island.
Yeah.
But out here, it's we might see a couple of Humvees go down the main road. Because we have bases in the area, just basically out there making sure what's going on.
Yeah, and they don't even want to.
I really don't see that much more than that. They don't care enough.
Being rural like that, they don't want to fuck with you much anyway, because they pull up and start threatening. Somebody will probably shoot the air cans out of their car, and then they light it on fire, and then you can either get out and get shot or fucking roast. No problem.
I picked a long commute for a reason. I don't like being in the middle of the city. I don't like what happens in the middle of the city. I like being far out where it's not the big, if a disaster strikes, everyone's going to turn into animals. Around here, I don't have that worry. People are decent around here. You always get some idiots, and people will take care of that. But, I really did. I wouldn't have moved to a neighborhood where I didn't think that was where I thought that might be a problem, especially buying.
Yeah, I bought mine.
I moved here because the people were decent, the neighborhood was decent, and because it's far out enough from the main city. I have no desire to get into, combat for my life or anything. I would rather lay low, eat my food, and, hand a couple of things to the neighbors if they're hungry.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty fucking lovely place, because there's a mining facility where they sell equipment and they build equipment literally right across the fucking road, about 3 blocks away. So, I mean, I got that going for me. Plus, they have huge diesel tanks. They got huge diesel generators. They got all the equipment. Fuck, I could barricade the head this time now. Fuck off.
See, back in the spring, before I moved up here, I was living near Berkeley. And, I did some preparing while I was there. And my extent of preparing was I made sure I was prepared to get some red crosses on my sleeve, and I put together a proper trauma kit. So if it ever bled into my neighborhood, I'd chosen that role for myself.
Right.
I know that the good people will defend a medic, and I really don't want to be in the middle of the fighting. I would rather be helping people. So that's just my mentality. Well, I know I come across as bombastic and a little bit gung ho sometimes when I'm out there playing devil's advocate in the stream. But honestly, I would much rather be helping people than fighting people.
Right. Well, we got a nurse, an RN right across the street. It's my neighbor. Yeah. She's fantastic.
I was an EMT, wasn't a fireman. So
yeah, I'm a paramedic too. I went through that as a fireman for the Homer City Volunteer Fire Department. Did that for 7 years.
Yeah, I did 7 years. 5 volunteer, 2 professional.
Yeah, and I was in. I worked for the state. I worked for the federal government, both in the military and as a contract role. So, I mean, I'm pretty well rounded that way. I around my wood shop. I small engine repair. Gardening. I can do shit.
Yeah.
I made sure that I'm going to be a key fucking individual in all this. Plus, I've got plans and preps and everything else. able to help people and to help guide them through this shit. So I mean,
Yeah.
whether I wanted it or not, I kind of fucked myself into a leadership role.
Yeah, that's where I am. That's why I have such a hard time with when people's first instinct is, well, how do I fight this? Like, you don't have to fight it. You just have to, figure out a new arrangement that works for people.
Go read fucking Sun Tzu. The best place to be when the hammer falls is anywhere but.
I was just discussing that with my team lead at work earlier. Earlier today, we were discussing. We actually were discussing the chapter on terrain.
Absolutely perfect. Yes.
Yeah. And that's a perfect example of the kind of part of our art of war that makes the most sense for this kind of scenario is figuring out, what kind of ground you're in and act accordingly. It doesn't mean you have to go on the offense. If you have the terrain already, you can be on the defense. You might not have to defend against anybody if you're actually prepared.
They might take one fucking look and go, nope, to the hell, nope.
Yeah. Because a lot of times they're after an easy target.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be putting up signage like, looters will be sniped.
Yeah.
Whether or not I got a fucking sniper or not, because that's a psychological thing. They're not going to know where the fuck it comes from. The sign that says looters will be shot, they expect a direct confrontation. Not me, motherfucker. I want them sweating their bollocks off trying to sneak over a fence to come in to steal something.
Yeah, I want them to hear my dog.
Right? Well, we got lots of dogs about.
Yeah, I want if I had someone coming around in that scenario, which, like I said, I honestly don't think it would get that bad in this neighborhood. But if someone did bleed in from a worse area trying to look for stuff, I want them to hear a dog, and I want them to see that this is not a house to mess with.
Right.
Well, I know 2 doors down, we've got someone with German Shepherd, so it's not a neighborhood that would be inviting to people that wanted to come cause problems.
Right.
We don't want that here. We want peace.
When I said earlier about the person that be, who put you the fuck in charge and they get shot, is because there are 2 or 3 people in this village that stick their nose in your fucking business and stir the shit pot constantly and would be one of those subversive fucking bastards that need to be fucking snuffed straight away to let people know this is, and I don't even like the idea of talking like that, but that's the kind of you got to put it straight out there. Listen, this shit will not be put up with.
Right.
Fucking adult.
That's just how, establishing authority works. And it's the unfortunate reality that some people are not raised to actually handle an emergency.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I learned that through some of my other shit. Is we were given certain types of tracking devices for people.
Yeah.
And I was told they will either take them or they will take a bullet. So I, very calmly told people, one of 2 things is going to enter you today. Guess which one they took?
I would say in most cases the tracker.
Right? It was almost unanimous, man. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, a lot of it is just a matter of who you're dealing with. And like I said, I'm in an area where I don't think it's going to be a problem unless outside people come in thinking we're easy.
Yeah, that's the major conflict that will happen here is the 4 or 5 people in like a 5-mile square fucking radius. It's not even that big, really, because we literally live on top of a fucking hill in a village. So, yeah. I mean, terrain's on our side. The fact that we pretty much know each other's on our side. The fact that there's like a Walmart less than 2 miles from the house, and we have the police station is literally a block and a half down the road, and we got the mining equipment that's about 2 blocks over. We got all these things, all these resources, and then we've got woodlands covered, so we got things we can cut and build barriers with.
Yeah,
we got a major highway and grain tracks and all kinds of shit, car rental places, gas stations, all I could walk to within 15 minutes to get the resources we need initially to get shit set up.
And I've got all that nearby as well. So
and I know damn well once people realize, oh hey, this cat's got a plan, it's going to be like ducks in a row.
Yeah. And for anyone who maybe
Burnside,
are we still live?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with that. I was just going to say, for anyone in the audience or who may be listening to this at a later date, it's very interesting discussing this with other people who have been trained in the fire service and other emergency scenarios, because they actually it changes the discussion so much, because you're actually able to talk about resource and leadership instead of how many people have how many guns or how many people have this much skill with a sword that they think they're badass because they were in the SCA. This is really what you talk about in a fire department when you're talking about disasters. Is what are the community resources? Where can you get them? And I'm not just talking about looting. I'm talking about legitimately, this is the disaster for the community. We have to pull all the resources, and we'll figure out the finance later, kind of stuff. You literally have classes and classes and classes, especially since 9/11, if you're in any of those fields, about what community resources exist, where would you go, and why it's smarter to shelter in place. Those are really, really big concepts, and anyone who's listening that doesn't have that training and background, keep that in mind when you're thinking about this stuff. It's not about what a weapon you would choose in a zombie apocalypse. It's about what resources you have and whether you know how to get them.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, I know what you got. I was listening to the conversation. That's part of the reason I let it run live, because I'm like, fuck this. I'm not killing this. This is pure gold.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to throw it out there, just to remind people we are talking as people who have been trained by, by the emergency services on what you should do, and why we're talking about resources as if they were all available to you is because in that scenario, that is the training.
And I'd like to also add, I'm actually new to this podcast. I've never actually been on here. It's my first night, so we're going, armpits deep in this. But it's actually ethically better. If you have to go after public resources, go after the public resources first. You don't want to be stealing from somebody else private. That's not a good idea. Do the public first. It's bad enough, but when it's an emergency, it's an emergency. You have to do what you have to do to survive. If you're going to use private resources, you should network with people.
Right, and that's why I was talking in the case of for specifically Chicago of, if it's totally melted down to the point where there aren't any people anymore and you have to eat, kind of scenarios, as opposed to it's day 2, let me hoard. What's going to be left after all the yahoos have gone in and destroyed everything, because at that point you're surviving. You're not actually out to just get stuff to get stuff. If you're surviving off a can of tomato sauce out of a food service pantry, that is not what you're doing for your own entertainment. And why I suggested, for example, a school cafeteria, because that is usually, if it's not a private school, within the public sphere.
That's great. I live by a couple of schools.
Yeah, yes. I mean, people might hit it, but it's not someplace people really think of as a, food resource. So it's more likely to go untouched than, say, a restaurant or a big box store.
Yeah, Scooby. Like I was saying earlier, you go to libraries, they have all those resources there for buildings and do-it-yourself and that kind of thing. If there's a cab company you're nearby, they've got communication equipment, CBs. You wait after about 30 to 40 days whenever they've gone after the drugs out of hospitals and clean up. You got a security system there. You can use the diesel. You shut everything else off because you don't want to advertise you're in there. You got views of the whole fucking hospital and outside. They also have communication tower up top. You can take a CB up, wire up a generator, broadcast, an emergency call. Hey, is there anybody out there? And then you can see them coming from a distance.
Yeah.
It's about avoidance and intelligence, not fucking Mad Max Thunderdome bullshit.
Yeah.
You got to think this shit through. And I will say this also, for those that think it's fucking easy to kill somebody from somebody that had to in the line of their duties, think again.
Yeah.
I also will conversely say this to you. Before you fucking go and buy a gun or have it in your head that you're going to use a weapon to take a life, you need to stop and think about a couple things first. One, what happens to your family if you fail? Sit down and write a letter to them explaining how you failed them as to why they're dead. And for those of you that say, well, I could probably do it to save my family, but I don't know if it's just me. Well, what if it's just you that they have to fucking count on to get resources to keep them alive? Think first.
And also, if you're going to actually use it as a defensive thing, train heavily with it, know it inside and out, be able to use it in the dark with your eyes closed. You have to be that familiar with it. It has to be part of you at that point.
You got to know it like your lover.
Yeah. You literally have to have that level of familiarity with it, or you will hesitate and it will not pay off. You can't fumble with it and figure it out, because the other person is probably more prepared and more determined if you're in that scenario. And, God help you if you ever end up in that scenario, because I don't want to be in it.
No.
And what I have is not bought with that purpose. It's more of if I've had it and I had to use it, it would be convenient to have, but it's not my goal. And I hope never, ever, ever to have to even consider it for that purpose.
Right. I mean, if you have it and you don't need it, so what? You get to fucking eat it.
Yeah. I have it because I have it because I enjoy marksmanship, but
right.
I think that's an enjoyable sport, but I know it has other uses and that it's not a bad idea to be prepared. I am an Eagle Scout after all, but and one more thing quick on the thing about resources. If you do get resources from any place when it's really, just completely melted down, you don't necessarily, I'm not saying keep an itemized list of everything you used, but do keep an idea of what you used from where, and so if everything ever comes back together to where you can try to help out where you got the resources, do so. Ethically, if I had to take something, I would do my best to probably try to, pay back for what I actually had to use out of obligation.
Right. Well,
that's my personal ethics, but
that's a quote from Socrates too. Socrates said that there's a rule that not even the gods can escape. Is that being you take what you want, then you pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, the law of reimbursement.
You are appreciative of the resources. You should, do what you can to make sure they're put back to rights when you have the opportunity. And I think that's one of the things that often falls by the wayside in people's minds in these scenarios as well. It's just like, oh, it's not taken, or it's already wasted, so I can just take what I want. Someone's got to, someone paid for that. Someone put in the work to put it there. And if the world ever comes back together, it'd be great to see something come back together where, people were trying to help out, get things back in order.
On top of that, to go along with the medical thing, I think you'll agree with me here too, Plain, because you and I have both have some training with this. Keep in mind, there's defibrillators in hospitals. How many fucking people are going to know to grab those?
Most people will not. Most people don't even know what that thing is.
Right.
A lot of offices have them, and I don't know if they have the maps in the libraries, but I know a lot of dispatch centers, at least in the computers, and the computers may not be available, do have a record in many cities or states of where the different, especially the automatic ones, the AEDs, are located throughout the city. If you call 911 in, I believe it's city of Seattle, I'm not sure if it goes wider than that, and there's someone having a heart attack, a lot of times by your address, they can tell you where the nearest AED is.
Yes.
People will register those with the city.
This is also just to give like a quick shout out to anybody that understands when I say you look at how many different uses you could do something. Take into account for a fire extinguisher. If it's charged, yes, it can put out a fire. It can also be cover. If you have to escape something, you can use the extinguisher itself as a pretty good club, if necessary. I mean, there's parts of that thing you can use. Okay. For other things, you can use it as a still. You can use it as a desalination device if it's being emptied out and cleaned out. Desalination is for purifying water for those that don't understand what that is. I keep forgetting not everybody understands the terminology of these things. The possibilities are only limited by how clever you are.
Oh, yeah. A lot of uses for those things. I forget that, speaking of Eagle Scouts, I think, wasn't that one of the things in the Boy Scouts, if I remember, I'm showing my age, but the handbook, they showed you how to, other uses you can utilize different things for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, in my bug out bags, I actually have 2 different editions. in there, just because it's an easy resource I already had on hand. I have the 2010 edition and the 1910 edition.
Nice.
Which has more of the old tracking kind of outdoorsman kind of stuff. Some of it's out of date and on the dangerous side, but it doesn't hurt to have the resource.
I'm looking for the one that came out when we were kids. The one that was.
Oh, the one with the tan cover with like the photos on the front.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. It was like thicker than the Bible.
That's the one I went through. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one it's I forget what edition number it was, but that's the biggest one that out of all of them. Because I was talking to because I'm a little bit spoiled. I went right up to the Teddy Roosevelt Council because it's right near where I go to physical therapy.
Yeah.
And I went in and I was asking them. I said, "Which edition?" And they said, "Well, your edition, the one that you used, the one we were just talking about. That was the most thorough one out of any volume."
Yeah, if I still had mine, that's the one I'd have in there, but I don't. So
I bought I bought two for my sons from 1954.
Nice. Yeah, 1910 is actually reprinted. It's currently available. They started reprinting it, I think, in 2010 for the Centennial, and I think it's still in print. Yeah. And then a lot of the other ones is, if you don't mind having someone's sign-offs in it, you can get them for a song if you can find them.
eBay or Amazon.
Yeah, eBay or Amazon, or a lot of times even like a thrift store or a used bookstore might have it on hand.
Check an old library too. They might sell you a copy.
They might, yeah. And if you're in a disaster, they might have a copy. If you're in that situation, you need the information, just return it later. It's a library.
Yeah, I think they'll understand.
I think they'll understand if you need a book in a disaster. But that's also not a consumable. You may actually be able to return that exactly as you found it.
Yeah.
So, that is, they're not going to be offended, and they might charge you a late fee. I'm not too worried about that one.
It's also one of the most underrated resources that you can have on hand.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But there's so much information in that thing. People just do not, I know that there's that, Hollywood generated goody two shoes, Boy Scout, thing, but there's a lot of good information in those handbooks.
Right.
Well, you remember the old saying, right? Just give a young man a Boy Scout handbook and a K-bar and drop him in the woods.
Oh yeah.
And that's all he's supposed to need.
Should be.
A good man could, yeah. A good man in the woods, that's all they would need.
Well, my father was a Navy man. He was a UP. The thing he always insisted I have when I leave the house was a proper survival knife and my Boy Scout manual.
Yeah. A length of rope would be helpful too, but.
Well, the survival knife had it in the handle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, he insisted. He said, "Wait, you got your you got everything?" I go, yeah, okay. 3 things he wanted me to have: the book, the knife, and my keys. That was it.
But yeah, extra rope is never a bad thing, though. That's one thing that I've got very prepared in our kits. We've got extra. I bought like big old 1,000-foot spools of paracord and just broke off as much as I could to fit in the extra spots in these bags.
Paracord, bank line, Kevlar cord, single-walled stainless steel bottle with a nesting cup.
Yeah.
Ferrocerium rod, magnifying glass, maybe a Bic lighter.
The kisses.
Yeah.
What the hell else? I mean, a good knife, if you can, a hatchet.
Yep.
Shit, a hatchet, you could do everything with a fucking small hatchet, a 13-inch hatchet you could with a knife.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, plus, don't forget there's the certain miscellaneous things. I always tell everybody, do yourself a favor. Go if you get a chance and you stop by a hardware store, get yourself a thing of miscellaneous screws, nuts, bolts, things.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Oh
you never
yeah.
know. You never know. You might need them. You might need to replace something to get something to work. Same thing, washers. When they have like the little variety packs, I tell everybody just grab them. And they say, "Oh, what are you going? Just grab them. You're a prepper. Grab it."
You know what I tell people? If you get stuck, it's the funniest thing. Get about 6 or 7 of those little eyelet screws, a couple of small hex wrenches, and a couple of the fuck you call it, hose clamps. You go and get yourself a thin withy, cut off a fucking tree. You got your cartage with that shit. You make yourself a fishing rod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're not burning calories. You just run the shit up through there, and you wind it back onto the two tension wrenches on the bottom of the for a reel. You know, it's beautiful.
Well, the two things I always leave my house with, I don't even worry about if I have a cell phone on me. I worry if I have my Victorinox and if I have my Leatherman.
Yeah.
That's common sense to me. You have to have at least those two things on you just to walk out the door. The rest of it is arbitrary.
Yeah, I keep a good lighter, a small torch, pocket knife, a Gerber multi-tool. You know, I keep my sear kit. Got like the Kevlar cord in it, about 25 feet of it. My little hacksaw, my hideable handcuff key, shit like that. Because I just don't trust motherfuckers anymore.
You're better off.
Yeah.
I always keep a handcuff key on me. You have to. Especially around here. I hate saying it. You never know. You just never know. I'm not even saying anything about the cops. I'm not putting it against some sick bastard to try to freaking cuff me. Cuff me to a fucking radiator or something. You never know. Same thing like you said. Suppose the shit does hit the fan, and this guy wants, I have a stash of food. This guy wants to feed his family. He's got me cuffed to a radiator. He goes out. Okay, I'm gonna go out and get the torch to work this guy over to get the information out of him. I got my key on me. I'm out of those cuffs. I'm at the fucking window.
Yeah.
Got to be prepared for all of these contingencies. It's the only way that you survive.
Yeah, in my go bag, I when I set it up, I have 5 tiers. I got my on body, I got my go bag, I got my inch bag, I got my car kit, and then I got my tier 5, which is the shit that I keep on and or right in the neighborhood in the house. I have several fucking caches about, within 2-3 hours of walking distance.
Yeah, you don't put all your eggs in one basket.
No, I'm not. I've been doing this way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I've got car. I've got standard 72. I've got my bug-in supplies. I've got my office bag, which is mostly food because that actually is in an urban area.
Right.
And at that point, I'm not going to have a whole lot I can do other than hope that my coworkers are smarter than than the average. Because at that point I am in an open environment with a lot of people that I don't know what their backgrounds are training wise.
Right. Well, for my go bag, I keep shit like a Silcock key in it. I keep a small breaching tool just in case I have to get into. I have my lockpick set.
Yeah, I'm currently enhancing the work one right now because I've only started putting that one together since I've been here. Because at the other office in San Francisco, at that point, I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need a handcuff key. I know, Plain, you can pick even police cuffs if you just bite the smaller end of the damn thing to have that funny little curve in it. You can pick handcuffs with a fucking paper clip.
Yeah, handcuffs are... the only thing handcuffs are really for is to keep someone secured while they're in your immediate custody.
Right.
If you look away, you should expect them to get out of it. That's basically the security level of your standard handcuffs.
Yeah, and when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm a shady fucker, man. I'm gone the moment you turn your head.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you should be. That's really, if they're not watching you right now, then they have no business holding you. If that's not their immediate priority, it's time for you to get out. And even then, it's still time for you to get out, just not necessarily quite as, obviously, as it was with them.
Right. I mean, in modern cars, even if they duct tape you in front, you can get out of duct tape easy. You can get out of zip ties easy. If you got the Kevlar, you even got a 3-foot piece of paracord, you tie loops in the end of it, slide them over your shoes between the cuffs, and you can friction cut them bastards off. You get tossed in the trunk. All modern cars have a handle to let you out. As soon as they spike the binders, get the fuck out and run.
Yeah.
Older cars, if you can't get your hand out of tail light, get off the fucking jack the goddamn thing open. It'll pop, believe me.
Yeah, and anything built since, what is it, mid 90s, even possibly a little further before, there's
93.
always an inside release. Yeah, 93.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, what was it, 95, 93? And you're right. The only thing that won't necessarily have an easily accessible release in the back is an open plan like an SUV or something, or a minivan. Because a lot of those won't have one on the inside of the back opening door. But there's no barrier between you and the rest of the doors.
Right? And a really good fucking kick on the inside. That's beveled to keep shit from bouncing through it from the outside, not the inside.
Yeah, and it's not that hard to get into the internal mechanisms because the panels are just crap.
Right. And I don't know how the hell you could allow yourself to stay stuck in a fucking box truck, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I hear about it happening there. Fucking cunts are too stupid to realize how easy that is. And when I say cunt, it's an acronym for can't understand normal thinking.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Well, some people
we're not offended on this channel.
I understand that, but some of the listeners might be on my show.
Oh yeah.
They get salty about it, and I'm like, listen, cunt can't understand normal thought, and clearly you're suffering from twat too, which is talking without any thinking.
Yeah. It's a common malady.
Oh man! Wow, it's less than 5 minutes to 3 already.
Great. Holy fuck!
Probably good to wind it down. I'm about to have to go anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it myself. My wife was calling me about an hour ago. I told her I was busy.
Well, hey, thanks, chaps, for having me on the program.
No, it's good having you.
Thank you.
No problem, Mickey. I enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.
That's why I let it run an extra 2 hours.
I stayed on because the dog wanted to be outside, but the topic was interesting too.
What was that, Scoob?
No, I'm saying usually I'm a stickler for the time too, but I couldn't bring myself to interrupt because you guys were just on such a roll. I'm like, fuck it, I'm leaving it run.
Well, maybe one of these days I'll have to have you guys on my show and we can have a good ride.
Always a good time. Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Let us know. All right, man. No problem. Yeah. All right, guys. I am going to take off because the old lady's going to be getting up in about 25, 30 minutes because she works early in the morning. And
Fair enough.
Why the hell did you come to bed? Because I was talking to the boys. That's why.
Blame it on me. Just tell her I don't shut up.
I'll take the blame.
Tell me. Yeah.
They blame me for everything anyway.
Yeah, you and your shrimp noodles.
Yeah.
God. Oh, God.
I'm old, but I don't miss much.
All right. All right, gentlemen, I am calling it. It has been the Chaos 120, which actually turned into the Chaos 240. But it's been a fun night. Mickey, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Fun. Let me see if Burnside is still with us. I mean, he might still be holding the elevator with somebody. He's okay. He's off mute. I'm Scooby331. Thank you very much for joining us. We had, of course, the Burnside Film Project, who is still muted. We had Greater Ajax.
Good night.
Yeah, we had Mickey Coy.
Thank you.
And, of course, Plain Speech.
Thanks for having me.
As always, and I am, of course, Scooby331. Sorry for the short outros this time, folks, but yeah, I'm seeing double. So until next week and until tomorrow night, actually, good night, all. Take care. Bye-bye.